Welcome to Meadowbrook Memories Podcast. I am Jelly, otherwise known as Glacier Prince, and my co-host is Hitchcock, otherwise known as Alfred Henry. Our mission on this podcast series is to explore the stories behind the magic that was created at Meadowbrook. When over a span of 4 years, between 1982 and 1986, we saw the transformation of a small co-educational school with less than 1,200 students, 800 boys, 800 girls and 400 boys into a successful sports and scholastic champion, winning 7 major trophies, 3 Sunlight Cup, 2 Topping Cup, 1 Walker Cup, and 1 Nutriment Shield. And to crown these achievements, Meadowbrook also produced 2 Rhodes Scholars, Cavell Creighton in 1987 and Andrea Wright in 1989, both graduates of Meadowbrook in 1983. In this podcast series, we'll be speaking to persons, both males and female, who were actively involved in this incredible journey, along with friends and staff at Meadowbrook, which inspired the environment which created this golden era. We hope you enjoy our discussion. Please give us as much support and encouragement as you can on whatever social media platform you are listening. Welcome and thanks for joining us. Alright, ready, go. Today is Saturday, September 17, 2022, and welcome back to another conversation about Meadowbrook Memories. Me as usual, Jelly, our Prince, our Lance, our Glacier, and by now, you know, any one of those names will do. Rejoining me as my co-host is a former student and also a former teacher at Meadowbrook, my good friend, Gerald Belnavis. Our guest joined us in this conversation tonight to share their Meadowbrook memories. Don't really need an introduction because he's well known throughout the Meadowbrook and, for that matter, the Jamaican community. He was head boy when I started Meadowbrook in 1974 and was a member of the Manning Cup team. And in true tradition of Meadowbrook High School, he had at least 2 siblings that I know of who came to Meadowbrook as well. But for me, my most unforgettable memory of our guest is the nickname. I remember him as from school. And if it is PG friendly, I would ask him to explain the history of that nickname. So without further ado, welcome Major Keith White, who I also knew as Nuts. Introduce yourself, Keith.
Hi, evening everybody. Hi, Jelly and G. Yeah, my name is Keith White. Yes, and the nickname is Nuts, which is actually an abbreviation of my original nickname.
And what was the original nickname?
I have to go further. I was hoping you would not.
No. If it's not PG friendly, we're not going to do it.
Unfortunately, it is more than PG friendly. It's actually a bit humorous. Yeah. The original name was Peanut Head. So when they changed it to Nuts, I was quite pleased.
That's a better name for remember. Yeah.
I readily accepted it. You know.
You embrace that more than the Peanut Head. I hear you. I don't blame you.
I even promoted it.
So welcome, Pete. That's a nice to go refresh up start. And Jerry, reintroduce back yourself.
Yes, Gerald Belnavis. I actually was in school with Pete at the same time. So we go way back. Mm-hmm. And good to be here. Helping you out. I will remain silent for the most part, and just ask a few questions. I'll just make one quick comment though. Keith was very modest when he spoke about his very decent, I should say. But truth be told, everybody had a nickname back then, and it was just one. There was Bulb Head. There was Dog Head, there was Boy G, there was Peel Head, and we put names to these people. But just to go at that time, we felt that to bring you into our circle, we had to christen you with a special name. So that was just a name that he got. But trust me, we all had names.
Yeah, man. Nickname amongst boys or men is a common thing, Jerry. It's like girls don't look like them do that at all. It's like it's not a tradition amongst with girls at all. But boys, even today, The nickname. Well, you see how much name I have. One of them is a nickname. That
Yeah.
rest of them is not. So yeah. But good.
But Jelly,
Yeah, go ahead.
I tell you, one of our classmates, as G will remember, his one of his nicknames was Gay Man. But we had to change. With time, we had to change it
Yeah.
because
That's why I get him killed. That's why I get him
it
killed.
was, you don't know about kill, but
Maybe wounded.
you almost unbending knee to have the name changed, you know.
A few more protection we want, but I know who that was at all. We don't.
No, most definitely, no.
He will know what it is. When we hear this conversation, he will know exactly what it is.
Yeah, man, because nicknames that tend to have different meanings. As a matter of fact, although my younger brother never went to Meadowbrook, his nickname right now is Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
And over the years, people figured that his nickname was Bolt because he could either run fast or he raced his cars, or they thought his cars were fast, etc., etc. You know, little do they know that his nickname was Bolt because one of his friends knew my name was Nut and just figured, say, boy, it's Nut and Bolt.
Yeah, and that is a better nickname we have. The Bolt can mean some different thing, and it became more famous with Usain Bolt afterwards. Yeah.
Man, there are many who think he's related.
Yeah, of course, and him can embrace that, of course.
Yeah, man. I know him. Knowing him, I'm sure he has cashed in a couple times.
Yeah, man, him must embrace that brand. I wouldn't make that brand waste at all, no. Anyway, Keith, but you know, the first question I ask everybody who come on this conversation, is, did you choose Meadowbrook or Meadowbrook chose you?
Boy, that now is a long story and a sort of circuitous route. Okay, all right. I guess the best thing is to start at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Myself, my mother, my siblings.
How many siblings, Keith? How many I don't know?
Four.
Four
of us.
So
two boys.
Including
2 boys,
you?
2 girls. No, I am the 5th one.
Okay, so we have 4 other brothers and sisters then. Okay, yeah.
That's correct, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we all actually were born in the motherland in UK.
Okay.
So we came back to England when I was
to Jamaica.
When I was 9. To Jamaica, beg your pardon.
Yeah.
You see how much I understand Jamaica as my home. Well, I refer to England as foreign. Anyway, came back to Jamaica.
Man is with the Queen right now and your countrymen, and you wish you were there. We understand.
No, man. You don't understand, because if you understood, you'd know that the Queen is dead. Long live the King. We just immediately transfer. So
true.
Yeah. So we came back to JA. And
what year this was, Keith? What year this was? You came back to Jamaica?
Stone.
You say you were 9?
Yeah, I was 9. So I guess that would have been 67. No?
Okay, cool, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 67. And the first place we ended up living was in Brownstown in St. Ann, which is where I was when I took scholarship,
Common entrance, at the time, or the scholarship. Was it named Common entrance at the time?
Boy, I don't really know, because I was totally out of it. All of these things were new to me.
Yeah.
Just put me in an exact classroom, and I mean, it was, it was really a culture shock, because that was the first time I saw teachers with a strap licking kids and all that sort of thing. So, but I was horrified,
Yeah.
Even more so when I felt the strap.
Cross your back, yes.
Cross my back. I wasn't even doing anything at the time. But that actually turned out to be like a precursor for the rest of my school career. But I think we'll get to that later,
Yeah.
Maybe innocent ended up being punished. But anyway, in first form, I went to York Castle. Because I passed
and go for York Castle. Okay, cool, yeah.
That's right, yeah. Went to, and of course, a lot of the little kids in the area say, oh, if they really pass, it's because the mother a nurse. So, whatever. So,
you get a blind. That's what I say.
Them say they get a blind, yeah. We never really pay the attention or do anything in school. I was still in shock,
Mm-hmm.
So, went to York Castle in first form. And after first form, the family moved to Kingston,
Mm-hmm.
and the folks bought a house down by Woodhaven Avenue.
That's Mullines Road or carry back to Redlands Road, and exactly where that.
That's right, yeah, in between Bullines and Reynolds Road.
Yeah.
So as it turns out, I had a uncle who is really more like my father cousin. But you know, in Jamaica, every adult is an uncle or a aunt. Yeah, so I had an uncle who used to teach at JC, you know, Jamaica College. So it was, you know, everything was just lined up that for me to just go to JC. I mean, we even and everything that changed to the blue uniforms yet. I think they were still wearing khaki and they had like a badge they used to wear and all that. So all of that stuff was purchased for me to go to JC, you know. But my parents went to some sort of social gathering or cocktail party or something. I don't know what it was. And they encountered some friends who they knew from in England. And as it turns out, one of the friends taught at Meadowbrook. You know, yeah.
Who that was? Who that teacher was?
Mrs. Johnson. She would be very familiar with her husband.
Oh yes, Mrs. Johnson. She taught history. She taught
history.
me.
Yeah.
It's a brown lady. It's a brown lady with freckles, Jerry.
Yes, same one.
Wait, that's so long she did Meadowbrook. Cause she taught me too.
Yeah, man. She used to.
Yeah, man. Johnson.
And her son did play on the Calabar. It was among the Calabar squad, Jerry, the one I 82. He was a member of the squad.
Oh, the cricketer.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think he played, but he was around the youth them.
Yeah, I think I'd heard something like that.
Yeah.
So they ended up speaking, you know, and conversing at this thing over a couple drinks, and they pointed out that, you know, why are you sending him all the way up Hope Road to Jamaica College when you know Meadowbrook is so much closer and actually walking distance?
Yeah.
So that's how I ended up at Meadowbrook.
Yeah, that's a long, nice story. So let me ask you something. Were you the first one out of your family for take common entrance or for take scholarship? You are the oldest?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you end up a Meadowbrook, first or second form?
Well, that was no second form.
Okay.
So I joined G them in second form.
Okay.
And as I joined the form and they gave me my desk and I sat down, right? Two girls who used to sit behind and beside me, two very good friends, they looked at me and just decided, matter of fact, I didn't wear glasses even now. I just decided that my head was shaped like a peanut. But they had some vision problems, even though I think they wear glasses, you know. So them just christened me, you know.
So them just christened you and call you Peanut Head.
Can you imagine that these are two respectable young ladies now in the society?
All right, so when you come to Meadowbrook now, what impression you got when you come? Because it's a culture shock for you to come from England, come to Jamaica, come go to school, and when you move again and come to town, because it must have been a different environment completely. What impression you got at Meadowbrook when you come to Meadowbrook the first week, or what you remember the first?
Well, the differences by that time would be between York Castle and Meadowbrook, and York Castle was a co-ed school as well. The major or biggest difference being that they also had their boarders there, you know. So some boys, you know, some day students and some boarders.
York Castle have boarders. Okay, yeah.
That's right. As a day student, because you see, by now, I wouldn't say I was traumatized, but the major culture shock was when I ended up going to what was the Brownstone all-age school, which was primary combined with junior secondary school.
Yeah.
That was the shock. So after that, there was nothing that can shock me because I turned up at the school, you know, some big old brown boot with short pants and long socks and a big old leather bag. And I'm used to even wearing a tie to school when I was in England and so on, even at age 9. And I turned up at the school there, and I mean, first of all, the school grounds they weren't paved or anything like that. I would say maybe half of the kids were barefooted. Yeah, a lot of them are the other ones used to wear either Tarzan or Skagit. I don't know if you guys
I
know
mean,
them
I
things.
remember Tarzan. I had my Tarzan.
Yeah,
But
Go ahead, Jerry.
that represents a lot of the primary school. Even I went to St. Richard, which is church school and fairly
and urban, yeah.
urban. And I still my first experience. You mentioned that there were some children, maybe not overwhelming majority, but there were some definitely who were barefoot.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And being a little kid, you want to fit in, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
So within a week or two, I took off my shoes and socks to join them walking barefooted in the schoolyard on the road. Well, I can tell you, sir, that was changed with great rapidity because asphalt is hot and my tender little foot bottom I couldn't even run fast to get back to my shoes and socks.
I used to that at time, but it playing barefoot is a regular thing. I played barefoot. I don't know how I did it, and I remember. I used to play football on Calbeck Avenue. I played barefoot for a number of years. Yeah.
And the asphalt.
Yes, on the asphalt, kid. And when I got big, man, I tried one time. I said, how we used to do this?
How we used to do them
Your
things.
foot burn up, yeah. I remember the Tarzan shows. Remember the Tarzan shows, Keith? Because
the Tarzan was the lace-up one,
Yeah,
It was like the loafer.
Yeah, because the Tarzan was the one. I love the Tarzan. It had the holy night. So it's like when rain fall, the water just come through. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah.
Originally, I even borrowed a friend of mine, Tarzan, to put it on to see what it was like, etc. Man, listen, when the sun hit the Tarzan and your foot in it, boy, it's like another punishment. The thing gets well hot. So by the time I reached high school and come over to Meadowbrook, there wasn't that much of a. I mean, I was done shock out already.
Meadowbrook was like an upgrade.
No, because York Castle was a Methodist school, and during the year I was there, they changed headmasters. Reverend Paxson handed over to Mr. Burchell Whiteman, who went on to become a minister of government and so on. So York Castle was sort of well put together and crisp and so on. Very, very similar to the Presbyterian Meadowbrook.
Yeah.
Man. So I think I sort of fit right in.
So in terms of that size, Keith, York Castle in terms of that student population, but the same as Meadowbrook, are big or small?
I think York Castle is a little bigger than Meadowbrook,
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But Brownson was one of those very strange rural schools. Well, not so strange. Those rural schools that were nearby to the bauxite industry. So for a little country place like that, York Castle was something like 4 high schools or something like that.
Maybe that for the bauxite company being there.
And good schools.
Good school there, right? No.
Yeah, man. York Castle, St. Hilda's, Servite Convent, Westwood was just down the road.
And these are all good, high quality school, Keith. I never think about it that way before. But yes, it's a favor for the bauxite company being there, yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah. So you come at town and you come to Meadowbrook now. Who are some of the teachers them you remember meeting when you come in a second farm?
Well, of course, the headmaster, Mr. Thorpe, was the first one. I mean, such stature he had in within the school that you can't help but make an impression, And then there was Miss Peterkin, who was really a stalwart of Meadowbrook. And I don't know if she was a founder, but she really contributed greatly to the growth and the establishment of Meadowbrook. Miss McLennan, another stalwart, Mr. Chin, Mr. Gooden, Mrs. Millwood and Mrs. Gooden, I'm quite sure they both weren't related.
No, they weren't.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know all them
yeah,
names they call. I know all them names there, Keith. I know
yeah,
all
man. I
those
mean, you
names.
know, I can go on and on because it was Miss Cover who became Mrs. Stewart. You know, I love Mrs. Headlam. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they're just and I mean, now I look back at these teachers that now, and to be honest, I'm not looking down on the present proper teachers, but I realize just how lucky we were
Yeah,
to have.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way, Keith. The quality teacher I came and saw at Meadowbrook and got at Meadowbrook. For most of the
Yeah,
time I was there, like you say, is a sense of, well, Mrs. Leo Ryan taught you?
man, I consider myself as so lucky to have had such a great educator teaching me at the high school level.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Professor Elsa Leoran.
Yeah, she didn't teach me, but she was there. She taught Patrick and she taught Mola sister. Because I used to talk about her. Yeah, yeah. And when you think and say
No,
why she
man.
went on to be such a big, big thing at the University of the West Indies, like I said, I just say it's almost like we were getting university education at a high school level, Keith.
Um,
That's it.
such a fantastic science and bio
Mm-hmm,
teacher,
mm-hmm,
you
mm-hmm,
know,
mm-hmm.
Mrs. Leo. Boy, she really,
So
she
let me.
really made the subject come alive. You know, like
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
jump
yeah.
out of the books and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man,
So
that's
you remember
good.
teacher named Mrs. Fidget? She taught
Yeah,
speech and
man.
music. She was
Yeah, man. Roma, the Iron Fitchet. Yeah, of the Little Gilborton Theatre.
Oh, you mean what's the middle name? What's the nickname? What you call her?
No, that's her real name. Roma the Iron
Oh,
Fitchet.
really? That's not even a
Yeah,
Yep.
nickname.
man. That was her. No, man. That was her full name. Man.
So
That was her
she
full
was
name.
part of the Little Theatre movement.
Not Little Theatre, but Little Gilburn. That was the name of it, G. She had her own theatre, which
Yeah.
was somewhere up in the
In,
Blue Mountain Hills there.
yeah. The Papine side above Papine,
Yeah,
I
man.
think.
Above
I
Papine.
go
Yeah,
towards
man.
Mavis Bank way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I tell you, she although we found dealing with her as a big joke. We used to give her a lot of trouble.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But she actually was Doyen was her name. She was a Doyen of the performing arts and music in Jamaica, you know.
And speech, yes, yes.
Yeah, we never knew her, we never appreciate it.
No.
But it's when you turn big man now and you look back and start to hear people speak of these things, etc. You realize that this was one fantastic woman.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
I had the same experience with her. She taught me speech because I know
yeah.
nothing about music. I didn't know the difference between, and well, G can correct me. If, well, the musical, when you write music, I don't know nothing about she taught for speech. And every
It
year, like,
wasn't.
you had to give a speech thing. And every year I went and gave
In
the same speech.
Yeah, it wasn't her fault. It wasn't her fault. I don't blame her for it. But she was associated with me actually getting a caning from top.
All right, hold on, go.
But
Early in the days or long afterwards?
sort of early in the days, I think. But as I suggested to you earlier, it's like my school history is just punctuated of me being punished innocently.
Well, tell us about
Yeah.
that then. Tell me how she make you get caning from top.
Well, I don't know if G remembers this, but what she used to do when she came to class is she used to call her own, right? Her own roll call. She would have her own roll call,
Mm-hmm. Attendance, yeah.
Yeah, right. I don't think any other teacher did that. I mean, they did it in the morning. The form teacher would do it in the morning, and that was generally it. But when she had a class, she used to have her own roll call. But while she doing it, she don't really recognize or know who is who.
No, she couldn't. She don't remember who is what.
No.
No.
Yeah. So myself and there's another won't call his real name, but another classmate of mine who we used to call Nears, right? Near's real name was actually Near and Far because we said it looked like the Sesame Street monster still. But so Near's and I in the class, and it's like every name Miss Fisher called, we would answer it, you know?
As a present, yes.
Yeah, as a present and thing, etc. She's looking up and the thing, I confuse her, you know, right? Confusing her, you know, and then eventually she just look at Nears and just say, you, Keith White, you keep answering and giving a lot of trouble, you know, get out of my class. So obviously Keith White was not Nears' name, but it's Keith White name she writing down to go detention.
Yeah.
So I obviously now have to sort of step in and explain to her that, well, you know, my name is Keith White. And Nears and I have a little argument. What we told her was that we so loved the literature and the poetry, you know, that we wanted to try to help and hurry through the roll call. And some of these other kids, you know, they were just troublemakers and idleness. They were not interested in it. So when she called the names, a lot of the time, they either wouldn't answer or they take a long time to answer.
Mm-hmm.
So we pretty much were convincing her that we were the good guys, you know.
Mm-hmm.
When lo and behold, I ended up now, the guy who was the farm captain, he jumped up now to assist in the thing, right? The same, I won't call him real name, the same one who we used to call Hogman. He jumped into the argument. We have the thing set now, you know, and we're about to go back to his seat.
Yeah.
He jumped into the thing now and start to quarrel with the lady that she's writing down Keith White when it's not Keith White. When we don't have the thing sorted out already.
You set it already because you're done with her, yeah.
Yeah. And then when she's talking to him and telling him to go back to his seat, him getting sort of aggressive with her. So eventually she just say, you know what, the three are going to go outside. So the three of us ended up going outside the class. We weren't outside the class for 5 minutes before we see the brown dog come down the corner. And the rest is history.
That was the chicken or Keith, because once you're outside the classroom, you know, it's like top, there's a patrol, you know. And like that a film policy. If you're outside of the classroom, you're getting a kid in.
Yeah. The damn dog will come round. And when we see the dog coming, we try to get back in the class. I said, no.
Mr. White, report to my office. Yes.
So did he do it immediately, or did he wait until the following morning and call you in front of the entire school?
Yeah.
No, he sent us up to his office to await his arrival. So we're up there, the officer sweat, which is another form. That thing I must be against some human rights.
Hold on, Keith. Guy mentioned something. It going with the question I'm going to ask, you know. You mentioned up on office. When you went to Meadowbrook, and this go for Jerry too. When you went to Meadowbrook in 1967 or 68, how much building was there? Because I said up to Mr. Top office. You were Mr. Top office at the time.
Mr. Top's office was the upper story to where the assembly hall is.
Mm-hmm. And that was one building. How much of that building was there at the time?
All right, so there was that building. There was the 3-story block.
Mm-hmm.
The building that the library is in.
Yeah. The library building,
yeah.
Across from the tennis court, and the netball court,
right.
yeah.
The building behind that, where like the physics lab.
Yeah.
I think it was 4th or 5th form was upstairs over there. Yeah. Right. And the small sort of canteen building.
Yeah, over to the other side. So it must have been a long walk then from the 3-story block to Mr. Tab's office.
It wasn't that long in terms of distance, you know. It was that long in terms of mental torment.
So that was the first I ever get kid in.
Yeah.
First of many, it sound like.
No, man, not many. It was too many. It was only 2 times, you know.
I only got
went on to become head boy.
Yeah, well, I'll come to that, man. Right. So it must have sharpened up. It must have gotten right.
serial punisher.
I think what
I
really
don't know if he actually turned over a new leaf or he learned to conceal his activities better. But
Well, him can't confess if he want to confess. And what was it that made him decide, say, him no want more caning?
no, what I think happened, I think that maybe it was affected Mr. Thorpe's conscience that he had been physically punishing such an upright student.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, maybe to help with his conscience, maybe that sort of help with me ending up as head boy.
Oh, I got you.
That
I got you.
that is my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah. Yeah,
well,
because
I think he was able to exact a measure of revenge subtly. I mean, not anything terrible, but I think Mr. Thorpe wasn't always knowing what he thought he knew. I remember one incident when the prefects, led by the head boy, were called into the principal's office to find out which students were writing on the walls all over the school. And we tried our best, but we never did find out who they were.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. The report, your investigation never come to no conclusive evidence at all. No, so you couldn't even tell him back anything.
No, we didn't get any evidence at all.
Well, actually, the investigation never started until I erased Not Was Here.
So
How amused we were when he was asking us, right? When we were probably among the perpetrators.
yeah, so if never know a nickname, Keith.
But I don't know, I don't know.
Somehow I think Mr. Thorpe knew everything that was going on there.
Yeah, you probably know, It's astute and have a nice sense of humor and everything.
Yeah. You probably did know. I get the impression of Jerry. But him not gonna make you know.
But first, matter of fact, to him, I think doing that was exactly another form of punishment. That guy is just such an example to us, like you wouldn't believe.
Yes, he was principal all throughout the years you were at Meadowbrook, Keith.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
and Miss McLeod was vice principal.
Yeah, that must have been a pleasure to that him was right throughout the leadership of the school. So you come to Meadowbrook now, 1967. Who are some of the other students you meet now? You met Jerry in a second round. Who are some of the other students you met?
Well, Meadowbrook, because of the size and because of how people moved, it really had a sort of family feel to it. So, like the people who were in sixth form and the prefects, So, like, I remember your sister, right? Remember Sledgy, Ernest Hamilton, all of those guys, Donald or Douglas, or maybe both of them, Samuels, Bert's older brothers.
Paul
Carol,
the other night, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Carol Subadan, who is my sister-in-law,
Yeah, she was in my sister class. Yes, I remember her.
Yeah, man. So I remember all of those people, coming right down, and they are senior to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, even before I get into people who are my peers, there are so many people who are my peers, that I remember we had good and had good friendships with,
Mm-hmm.
Owen Oliver, Sam Neville Arnold, Paul Peters, and a lot of girls, Maureen White, Andrea King, Audrey Jackson, Donna White, who actually is no relation but ended up as head girl when I was
head boy. She called me the other day and I didn't remember at all that she was head girl at the time. I just remember you, Keith, but she called me about 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So we had a really vibrant and active sixth form,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Gary Rose, a lot of people.
So how big was Meadowbrook population at the time you went there in 1967?
I'm guessing it was probably a little bit smaller than I know in your in your running usually said that we were
about 1,200.
yeah, but and when I just got there, I think we're probably a bit smaller than that because we hadn't started to accept immediately the students from the ninth grade.
Ninth grade, junior secondary schools, right.
Yeah, so when they came in and they started with what we were calling a C stream at the time.
Hold on, so at the time, there was just A and B?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
You remember like that, G?
Yes.
Yeah. And then after a while,
In the 80s,
they came in, yeah.
And they started the evening school thing after that too.
But before the evening school, Jerry, they started the extension.
Yeah, those things never happened.
That's what I'm referring to.
Yeah,
That came
I never
after,
had evening school or extension while I was
came
there.
right. That came probably after you leave school, Keith and Jerry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just two streams. There was just A and B stream.
Yeah, and then when the ninth grade people came, then they started the C stream.
I wonder the first year. Remember the ninth grade people them came.
I'm wondering if that was when we were in third form, G.
Yeah, it could be because I think Archie and them people.
Yeah.
But when I came, the Archie was in sixth form to maybe lower six. I remember that. Yeah. Archie by Lilton we're talking.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what I learned from that. What I learned from that is that these students who joined us, they came from the all-age schools, which means that they probably didn't, they weren't successful in common entrance. For the most part, that was it. But when those kids came to Meadowbrook in third form, by the time they progressed to fifth form, right, there was a sort of shaking out. And you'd find that some of them would be in the A stream and some in the B stream, etc. So you realize, so what that sort of showed me was that, not all kids learn at the same rate or develop at the same rate. So some of those were probably late bloomers, if you want, late developers, and some of them who might have looked, having come from a junior secondary school, you might have thought that academically they were a little slower. Some of these people came into the system, went up through Meadowbrook, and these people are liars. Yeah, so it was just really a matter of maybe
the blossom late. The blossom late kid.
Or it could be a reflection of the type of tutelage they were getting at the primary school level. That took all primary schools aren't the same.
No, that is true, and even at the all age level, and it's like because the quality of teachers will make the difference. I think even now, I know them change most of the high school name them to high school. Is not Meadowbrook have a different quality of teachers than say a non-traditional high school as we call it. It's still not fixed. I think we were blessed to have a real good quality teacher at the top about earlier, Keith, at Meadowbrook right throughout the time I was there.
Yeah, that was my experience.
And I still get the impression that Meadowbrook still attract real good quality teachers.
Yeah, man. I've met some really good teachers up there. And they really are interested in the students.
Yeah. So, let me ask you something, because I know you're somebody who used to play Manning Cup for Meadowbrook, and you end up in the military. But when we talk about the football first, or sports in general, when you came to Meadowbrook, you had ambition to say you could have played any sports at all?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't put it as ambition. I was a person who used to just participate in everything. You say anything going on, and that was a matter of fact. When I went to Meadowbrook as well, I ended up in a group of people who we are just in everything.
You're competitive then, you just want to compete.
Yeah, man. And it doesn't mean you may not be good enough to play for the school, right? It may be that you're just playing among yourself or whatever. But everybody was playing football, everybody played cricket to different levels, of course. Everybody played table tennis, everybody just sort of participated in everything. In terms of the serious competitive, the competitive, the competitive sports, we what I found when I was at Meadowbrook is that we early on in school when we got there, we never really had what I would consider as any proper coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, even cricket, sometimes I sit down and listen to you guys play cricket or I watch cricket and listen cricket over the years. And I think back to when I was in high school and I said, well, boy, suppose there was somebody who could have teach me to bat. I
Mm-hmm.
wonder if I would have been a good batsman because I've always had sort of good eyesight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, things like that. I wonder if there was. So if we came through school and had like a Becky or Mr. Ear,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Or a structure where somebody actually a coach you. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I think that because I ended up with football a lot as my primary sport because I loved football and also because down in my community, right, I used to play football with all the other boys down there. And they all went to all of the different high
Mm-hmm. Can you
schools.
live close to you and then?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So I was over the park by Hugh and then. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, yeah, all the time. So you end up playing football there and they have a little club there, etc., etc.,
Mm-hmm.
with the senior team and the youth team. And that sort of gave me some exposure and a little bit of coaching,
That's what I was
you
just
know.
going to say, right, right. Because you're in the community then, and it's like, in a sense, almost like you're a coach yourself because everybody have played the football together.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, within Jamaica, in Jamaica's football, contrary to what some people seem to suggest, right? It is the communities that develop the football talent. It's not the schools.
No doubt.
You'll never see a community go to a school to recruit a footballer. No, but it's the
It's
other
the
way
other way around.
around.
No, as a matter of fact, kid, I'm currently doing a podcast like this for Permacal, and that is what coming out.
Yeah,
And
man.
Corner League was started in Permacal just out of the same thing. It's like everybody want to play
Listen,
football, and like 100 man turn up at the field, and besides, I'm could farm a competition, and that's all. The first Corner League in Jamaica was started at Permacal, which is where I grew up.
Jelly, one of my proudest moments, right, as a youth, as a youngster, was actually running out on Pembroke Hall field to
And,
go get a 5 minute in one of the Pembroke Hall Corner League match them.
and which team you play for? I can't remember
Hugh,
that.
Hugh and then.
Oh, Marvel, you and then. Keith.
No, it wasn't Marvel
It
Hugh
was
and then
you and then
yet,
at the time.
It was just Hugh and then, yeah.
Oh, as a youth say I come out and I play for the Corner League. I didn't know that. That has some
Yeah,
history.
yeah,
And this,
because what happened
yeah, go
what
ahead.
happened is that what happened is that Hugh and then ended up, and this primarily was a Sunday morning thing,
Yeah, man, we
right?
had 3 matches at Permacal at that time. We had the Sunday morning match at 10 o'clock. And you're right. You and then
Yeah,
being a little outsider team, when I get most of the 10 o'clock match at Sunday morning. Yes. Yeah,
I don't know if and it depends who them playing against,
yeah,
because
yeah,
you
yeah,
draw
yeah.
if you draw like Patosia or one of them team that with Watt or Maya or the
Yeah, yeah,
big
yeah,
baller,
yeah, yeah.
etc. So what would happen, is that you remember Francis?
Francis Land?
Yeah,
Yeah, man, I mean, I live behind Francis Land. Mr.
all
Francis, who
right.
have the horse and thing. Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
man, yeah.
man. So we would walk through Francis Land, which is a land which we also used to go through. So we shoot bird and
Yes, yeah, yeah, man.
the
And
ranger chase us. I remember there being a pond over there, but anyway, that's a different thing. Yeah, yeah. So I think Hugh and then ended up playing a team. I think the team might have been from Stony Hill. They
yeah,
must say Hillside
Hill
or
Stars,
something
Hill
like that.
Stars, Hill Stars.
Yeah. So Hugh and then must have dealt with them case from early, you know. So when that happened now, when the match is assured, the coach who was there at the time, he put on a couple of the youth them,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
one of whom was myself,
So how old were you at the time,
again,
Keith? How old were you?
probably about 15 or something like that.
Or just about cold stage, I look at older than colds, yeah.
Yeah, man. And the thing is, I was sort of much younger than my size, than my peers, sort of thing. So yeah, so you go out there and the end of the thing now, at the last 5 minutes, them figure that boy you can't lose the match for them. So you can't.
You can't make a mistake and lose much.
You can make the mistake, but you can't
Yeah,
make enough mistake, and them don't have enough time to lose the match for them.
Yeah.
So you get a little run, and it just build up your spirit and
confidence.
your
Yeah.
confidence and everything, etc., etc. It just sort of did that. Exposure just did so much for you that
It boosts
you
your
know.
No, but you make a valuable point, Keith, because enough people don't know that. It was the community developed the football, and the school and
Yeah,
recruit the talent from the community. It's not the other way
of
around.
course. Yeah,
Not the
man.
other way around.
Yeah.
And the football naturally developing in the community as a generic thing. It was no official coaching. It was just community based. Over Permacal, we can speak about, and Permacal was an example for most of the community. So yeah, I didn't know that, kid. They give me some history. I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, man. They used to kick ball at Pembroke.
Yeah, walk through Francis. I used to live on the border of Francis Land. As they come through Francis Land, I come up Permacal, right at Calbacam. That's where I used to live, right just up the road.
Okay. Yeah, man.
Just up the road, right?
So I've heard you say it before, right? And I don't really know if you need any certification, right? But may I certify it anyway as somebody who I hear now is some sort of authority on Jamaican football, right? But let me certify it, right? Pembroke was like the biggest corner league in Jamaica. I don't know of any bigger one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the teams and the persons who would play in the Pembroke Corner League, I mean, it's like from national players all the way.
Yeah, man.
It
was the who anybody who showcase them skill in Jamaica need to come up from Macau. Come face the fire. You're right,
Yeah,
that. You're right. That's my memory to keep. That is my memory.
So which one was your team? Because you start Patosi, Carwina.
Patosi. All of the Patosi, man, I didn't know. All of the Patosi, man.
Yeah.
Because Patrick used to play for Patosi. I never good enough, as you know. I couldn't run, as you know. So football was I'd try, but I never fast enough to play no football at all. So yeah. But
so Jelly, the man them wouldn't even get a 5 minutes at the end of the game.
Let me just put things in perspective real quick. Jelly was not one. He was a very good cricketer, captain the Sunlight team. He was not one known to run quick singles.
Is him Chris Gale following?
Yes, man.
Is him started?
Yes,
quick.
It's not quick single, I call it the sharp singles. Sharp singles.
Sharp.
It's like you have to follow up on all of them. Sharp single Jerry. So yes. Yeah, but
so G, if you had the non-strikers in and you followed through, right? And when you reach almost halfway down, you're balling out like Cub one, right? Jelly, I cause if you give a wicket.
Yeah. But Patosi was my team, man, because each cock didn't come up from Permacal and keep for Patosi. That's why each cock came and learn only for football at Permacal the same way. So yeah. Permacal kind of league, Keith. You're right about that, man. That is the
big thing, that man. And it went on for years.
Foundation Corner League in Jamaica, man. It was the first organized corner league in Jamaica. I mean, I dig into it, and I get in some history behind it in terms of how it found and why it found it. So that will come out as well, talk. So but I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
That would be interesting because I would have been too small and too young to know anything about the administration or the organization.
Right. No. I guess
we just know that that was actually the place I understand that they sort of formulated the term tall pants man, you know.
What do you mean?
Yeah? But there's this friend of mine who used to play for Pembroke, you know. I think he used to Locks, you know, a friend of mine. And he'd cursing somebody. He said, boy, you're tall pants man. So we said, what you mean, man?
Yeah, I'm just going to say.
He said, them man, they come match in a tall pants. Watch them, one of them are playing up there.
And this was the field right at the bus terminus, Keith.
Right, yeah.
I call it the holy ground of Pembroke because I think Pembroke football started to go down after I think Kasafa came in and said the field now up to Kasafa standard and they had to move the game.
Over to the school.
Yes, and the vibes changed completely because what the field was, it was strategically in the middle of Pembroke.
And in the middle, like the roads.
Yeah, man. It was so strategically placed. Anybody from Pembroke that go this and never feel like say. It belonged to them. It was like I call it the holy ground at Pembroke because everybody could come to complain. That's why I felt to keep. So I think the vibes. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, no, I was going to say there was another team from what do you call it? Like Asphalt.
Asphalt, yeah, man, Asphalt.
Asphalt.
When they used to play for that team there, when I come to him, the first Meadowbrook coach, I think, Devon Jeffrey, used to play for Asphalt.
And Devon not from them areas at all, you know.
No, him never come from the area, but him didn't know the man from the area. Devon,
that's why I would say you go Pembroke.
Go learn, right.
National player, everybody has to come.
Yeah, man. If you know Bobby Fire, who was a coach, Bobby Fire is live Pembroke. Robert DeKenney, that's his real name, was a racehorse trainer after a while. He used to coach Pembroke. He used to coach Asphalt and Pembroke Major League team. So, and Devon used to play. Because Devon on earlier with Eva and Hitchcock, and Devon same used to play for Lucas Football Club. So Devon a big time.
You broadcast the one with Devon yet?
No, not yet. I just recorded.
Okay.
It hadn't come out that kid. Yeah, but
all right, yeah, man. Probably don't hear that.
I'm talking from memory. Yeah. It don't come out. It come out a couple of podcasts down. So yeah. So I know what you're talking, man. But back to Meadowbrook, I don't want to distract myself because I talk about Pembroke as much as Meadowbrook. So I do this is a Meadowbrook thing, and two we have
definitely, yeah.
Two we have affiliation with Pembroke and Meadowbrook, and that's good. That's good. So you get to love football more. What year did you officially play for the Meadowbrook team? Did they have course competition at the time, or Meadowbrook was in the Manning Cup when you go to school?
Yeah, man, they had Colts. Yeah, so I was playing the Colts. I was playing Colts to Meadowbrook. Mm-hmm. And in fact, that too is another interesting story because one evening we were playing a Colts match, bottom field. We were playing against KC. Mm-hmm. And the Manning Cup team was waiting to train, And the coach at the time was a member of staff at Meadowbrook. His name was Leroy Keane. Mm-hmm. A man who actually, he used to go to Calabar and he had got a track scholarship, was a big hurdler for Jamaica and everything too. Mm-hmm. Leroy Keane. Yeah, so he was watching the match, and after the match, he came to myself and the goalkeeper and told us to stay for Manning Cup training.
And who was the goalkeeper at the time? Which goalkeeper is?
Ricky Ballin.
Derek
Ballin, yeah.
Right, Mikey Ballin, talk about him, brother, and Mikey Ballin.
Of blessed memory,
Yeah.
Gone too soon.
Yeah, gone too soon. Gone too soon. Yeah.
Blessed memory.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, to me, as I say, I was always sort of young for where I was in school and so on. So at that age, and I don't remember if I was 14 yet, maybe I was about 14. Call it 14, And when you're a 14-year-old, go to play Manning Cup against some man from Casey and Trenchtown.
A big man.
You're playing against some 19-year-old.
Yeah.
18 and 19-year-old.
It's a big difference, that kid, yeah.
Yeah, man. And because I played club football at the youth level in my community, right? With my friends who go to the other
high
schools. With better teams. It's like a joke to them because I know that I am not any better than them. I mean, football-wise, I'd probably say I'm a journeyman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love it and play a lot, So I know that I am definitely not at Manning Cup standard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to reach
and
a
get
standard
called for Manning Cup because they're Meadowbrook. Yeah. Because what you're saying really is that the man where you play with in a UNN, just as good as you and some of them better than you couldn't make for the Manning Cup team.
No, sir. No, not even a scent, not even a smell. Because I'm all the way in about fourth form now,
Right,
man.
right.
And a lot of them school, I remember them school, they keep down man in a fifth form to play
Play
Manning Cup,
ball,
you know.
right.
Yeah. So yeah, man, I repeat all 3 times now, Casey.
Yeah, we're getting that. Because, so you get called for the Manning Cup team at a cold stage end. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, yes, that is so.
Okay, so what kind of results Meadowbrook show at that time? No? Just the Manning Cup
It,
game.
it
Because,
does,
hold on,
yeah.
before you answer that, I'm going to give you, when Devon said, Devon said, when he take the job in 74, and we'll come up to that, Devon said, Meadowbrook was known as a girls' school. I'm saying, what do you mean? He must say, yeah, pure love them I get.
No, man, it's not too far. I just remember, like, when I was in junior school going to a stadium, because we used to go and watch Meadowbrook play Manning Cup. And
yeah.
no matter how we get beaten, we still go. I'm not taking off my epaulets after the game either. Some man take off their epaulets.
And this is when you get a ticket for going to the stadium and all of me there, yes.
That's right, yeah, ticket to go to the stadium.
Yeah.
But I remember there was one famous match where the team actually beat Tredgetown, who were one of the favorites.
Yeah, talk about that, because that's I think, to me, that the one Meadowbrook first famous victory, you know. They beat in Trenchtown with Herbert Diego Garden. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't know if it was 2-1 or 3-2, but we defeated. And I think that defeat, I think, ended up costing them the cup.
Yeah, it prevented them from winning the Manning Cup. They either go to the finals or, I think that.
Yeah.
So, how did it happen? From your memory, you were at the match?
Yes, I was at the match.
So, what really happened, if you can remember that?
Well, I remember there was one party, this guy named Brooks. I don't know if you heard about Brooks in G. And Brooks actually kicked one ball from the center circle and scored, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they fetched out goalkeeper that advanced too far.
Half-time line. Yeah.
So that was like the one goal that I remember. You know, we scored some others. So they just pretty much they underestimated us to the point where, you know,
they probably put on some players that them think say them can't lose, like when you get the game over Pembroke and men up a loads.
Well, boy, I don't know, you know, because I the big gun them on the field, you know.
Oh, Diego was on the field still.
Yeah, man, and Devon Lewis and them, man. Yeah.
Definitely game. And those were your top players.
Yeah.
Amongst.
Yeah, because the man went down to play for Boys Town and Jamaica in the 70s. Big time football at them.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Diego name. Diego. Yeah. So what other match you remember I go from Meadowbrook and I play? And before you start playing officially then? Because you play from early and Keith before you even go.
Yeah, but a large part of my schoolboy football opportunity I missed out on, because the first season that I sort of played, I remember getting injured, right? And then the next year that I was supposed to play, there was a match down at St. Andrew Technical against Cornwall College.
Yeah.
And they shot a spectator at that match. And they immediately stopped all schoolboy football in Jamaica.
Yeah, somebody,
right?
Mikey Ballon, that talk about that thing. It's like the year they suspend all schoolboy competition. I think I 72.
Yeah.
I think I 90.
And the year after that, no schoolboy football was played either.
Yeah, so for 2 years then. So you're saying then, in the prime I'm in playing days, no schoolboy competition, eh?
Exactly, yeah. So the last season I got to play was really when Devon came, you know.
Okay, talk about that. Before you talk about that, let me ask you, put in a context in terms of say, before Devon came in 1974, I think that's the year.
Yeah.
That's the year I started Meadowbrook. I remember you on the team.
Yeah, that's when Devon came.
That's the year. And before Devon came, Meadowbrook never used to recruit no players at all, like what most schools were doing.
No, I don't recall it. No.
Right, so we were at a big disadvantage in terms of talent. Because just the talent them on the school field, or the other school,
That's right, yeah. And the guys who were at the school at that time, they never played a lot of football. Yeah.
Meadowbrook at the
Even,
time never have an organized competition like Pembroke would have one, or you and then would have.
yeah, they never played much football.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
a matter of fact, I would say that the guys who played cricket, right, got more exposure than the guys who play football, because some of my classmates and things, schoolmates who played cricket used to go down to Wireless, below Mullines Road.
I know what you're
Yeah,
talking. I know what you're talking.
yeah, man. And them used to play cricket down there.
Yeah.
Man like Manning and them guys. You remember them guys, G?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah. And what was the bigger brother?
There was Hector. And,
Hector.
Yeah.
And J Manning was the younger one.
Right.
Junior Manning, yeah, Junior Manning. Yeah, I remember him from school. So Sledgy used to play cricket at the time too. Hernell and them. Hamilton.
Yeah, man. Hernell Hamilton. Yeah, but Sledgy was, I must say, Sledgy now is way ahead of us, in terms of school.
Okay. You go there and see Sledgy like as a big man for you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
When we're in second form, I think Sledgy was probably in the upper sixth or something.
So Jerry, you living at the community of Meadowbrook. I went to Meadowbrook. You have any idea why Meadowbrook never have organized football like Pembroke and you and then as key talk?
Maybe because it was more spread out. I don't know. We used to play football, I mean, like all day. Just like I keep talking about the people from different schools. We would play at Meadowbrook top field and sometimes at bottom field.
Too. Yeah.
And Rose, Vaughn and Lauren, I knew them from before that. Quite a few people who Ricky Anderson, who played for Calabar, good player. He used to play with us. So, we never really started to develop a competitive thing, like a league until maybe when I was in maybe just about leaving school. When David Hunt and the people, they were in the community to Wayne and David Wagga.
Yeah, Wagga, yeah.
Wagga started the minor league thing first.
Yeah, that's where it started.
And then we started to play SDC competitions first. And then I want to do, because we had some good talent in the community. Some of them play for Man, some of them play for Calabar, some of them play for KC Hunt, Wayne and so on. So we had good players, man. Guys.
That's what
I always wanted. The best footballer who I see come out of Meadowbrook and him there, who had never played for any, he went to KC, Mallory Williams, the singer, keyboard player, best footballer that Meadowbrook produced. No questions asked. Never played for KC. I don't know why.
Oh, but he went to KC, but him living in Meadowbrook.
Grew up in Meadowbrook, yeah.
But he went to
KC.
So
once that started, Wagga started the minor league thing, and then we started the major league and all of that. That's how that started. But it was late. I guess we never had the organization, nobody, and decided to do it.
But you know what I wanted to also add to Jelly, just to sort of make it clear. You see, it's not that the word playing community football in Meadowbrook, because I used to kick ball up Meadowbrook. We used to kick ball at bottom field, right? All of these places, that even up red carpet, we used to go play scrimmage, etc.
Behind the prep school, yeah.
Yeah, but I used to play down bottom field with them guys all the time. But what I would say is this, right? There were very few Meadowbrook boys who were playing in those games.
Who went to Meadowbrook High School? I'm living in the community, but most of them don't go to Meadowbrook High School, yeah.
Yeah, because I play with with Daly, them and Eula, and you name it. All of them schools.
My brother one was one of the few who did.
Yeah.
I mean, Clark, he never did. Yeah, it's true. That's a good point, and that is true.
Yeah, most of the guys.
So Meadowbrook never have, in a sense, then the community, most of the men who live in the community never go to school, who could have played football. Yeah. But you say, but you say most of the men, a lot of men were playing cricket. You wonder, where do you think the difference in terms of say, more Meadowbrook man play cricket at the time than football. We go to school. What you think attribute to that, Keith?
I think it's just down in the community where they were, you know.
Okay. I got you. It just
Even, yeah, and that community was, and where they were playing was a little ways off as well. Yeah.
all right. So for the record, and as far as you know, when Devon came in 1974 was the first time Meadowbrook had an official coach, a coach a team.
Of that standard, yeah, official, yeah, man.
Because before that, it was like maybe somebody that staff member might have coached a team or something like that, and
yes.
But Devon was a professional player. Devon was a real good player and all them things they say.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And then it looked like he got the okay from Mr. Taft to recruit players.
Yeah, he brought in some players. But
Yeah.
one of the things that Mr. Thorpe did not compromise on was the academic standard of these players.
Well, Devon talk about that, you know, because I'm saying all of the players,
Yeah.
man, I remember that. I was here to all of them came to sixth form in a sense. Most of them.
Most of them came to sixth form, yeah.
It wasn't like say them come in and them just them my furniture. All of them were academically inclined. More than academic could have got sixth form on the one. And Meadowbrook, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
He never compromised on that at all. In fact, and it was really sort of amusing to me because these guys, they come from KC or wherever, from KC mainly, and wherever, they come to Meadowbrook to sixth form. And Meadowbrook is just a totally different environment. Talk about culture shock. They had a bigger culture shock than me.
What do you mean? What they go through? What shocked them?
Then listen, when we in sixth form, we sitting down and we're doing some studying in the library, we have a free session, etc. And when lunchtime comes, you know, those who are prefects may have duty, you know, at the canteen, etc. And the others will just go and we gather up by the by Mr. Senior Wall under the tree there and etc. Yeah. And when we get up and walk out there, man, right? It's like the people, like them terrified. They run you down and say, listen, you left your bag. You left your bag. I say, you're cool, man. You can't leave the bag.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. You say, you're sure? I say, yeah, man.
That's what I mean, Keith.
All right.
You come from an environment, you couldn't leave them bag at all.
Your bag is all right, man. And then all when them it's like every 3 step, them look over them shoulder, look back, see if them can see the bag. No, man. Yeah, it's like a different environment.
Yeah, you know, that you mentioned that I never cross my mind at all. You come to Meadowbrook and you leave your things anyway at all, and I think about nothing at all, Keith. That is so true.
Then I used to go play match at KC and all them school, man.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, well, KC man might come and the thing come cursing, but it's just reality, man. My people in teeth 1 foot of socks here. I'm man Jack Strap. We're going to wear that.
It's a complete,
Right.
it's a culture shock, you're right, Keith. It's a completely different environment.
And they weren't accustomed to the fact that people didn't spend 4 years in fifth form. You have some fifth form man with gray hair and all.
Hey, G, I think that is that a Freudian slip? What you just said?
What? We never had.
How you describe them?
What? Who?
No, you said that there are some people who never had what kind of hair?
Gray hairs, man.
Some I wonder that's a Freudian slip. because I had some brethren, I had a brethren who used to play football against me and with me all the way coming up, you know? And he had like, I guess he was in about the same year as me in school, right? But I know he had elder brothers in the school, and as I know, him could all catch them up and pass them.
And the brother sitting at school and pass him, yeah.
But G is not a confidential man, so he decides him where he call up people names. Or maybe it's, as I said, maybe it's just a Friday and slip.
Yeah, maybe. So what was the impression you got at Devon, Keith, when you come in and Devon come in as a coach now?
Boy, look at him, man. First class, and he wasn't the first. I remember there was one person who came up and what's his name again? It's from George's. He has had a popular discotheque, a popular sound system. I remember
Bonnie Goodison.
Bonnie Goodison, man.
You know, say, hold on. You finish the story and then I say for the same thing, but go ahead.
Yeah. He came up there one time, and I guess after like one training session or whatever, he left and never came back. I don't know what he tell top or what position he came to, but we just never saw him again after that. You know.
Well, Devon talk about that thing. I think him and Bonnie used to work there. I knew Bonnie Goodison. Them used to work either sports and game there. What is the football shoe store name?
There's sports and games. There's
Antillians and they want to sell the Puma. Forget them name. Yeah. Aguilars. HB Aguilars. Yeah. The one used to work on one of them. I think him say that's what him and Bonnie, and I think a Bonnie they set up a job for him because Top come and looking for half a Bonnie the job, and Bonnie must tell him to him have a coach. So I think that's all that the connection.
Something like that.
Yeah. But Devon talk about that in a film podcast. When that come out, you will hear that. So yeah. So you say him come in. What impression? As you say now, were you impressed in terms that say finally Meadowbrook get a coach now, and we're gonna start get some love?
Yeah, man, 100%. Yeah, man. I was very impressed. There's things never really, never always went my way. In fact, he taught me a good lesson. Something I should have really know myself, all the same. But you know, never forgotten it in life. And I've heard guys come on and speak about Mikey here in the same way. You know, we had, I think it could have been like the last training we had before we played our first Manning Cup match under Devon.
And that match was against Campadon. I was at that match, I remember.
Against Campadon. Well, let me ask you something now, Jelly. I don't know if you remember I did not start that match.
I don't quite remember, but maybe you're right. But I know.
No, man, you wouldn't remember because Donovan started that match at right back.
Yeah, that's a Donovan, that's a G brother. Yeah.
So here what happened now, the last training session, football training used to start probably about 4:30. So you have some time between when school finish and when football training start down bottom. Yeah. So myself and I don't remember who inveigled me or whatever to be out by Pete's Patties out by Terrace Plaza.
That off Reynolds Road.
Yeah, Reynolds Road.
In front of Purity, yeah.
Yeah, no, I wasn't out there buying patty because we really had for free money to buy patty, etc. But you know, there were various schoolmates out there at chatter idle, and I guess maybe the schoolmates wear plaid uniforms, so it was a khaki schoolmate, so we out there idle and chatter and whatever, etc. Totally lost track of the time. And apparently, Devon and Spanner passed there and saw me over. I'm trying to remember who was with me. Saw me over by Pete's. Yeah.
I had a uniform. I have a tie. I had a 6 arm at the time.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, and you know, and by the time me realize it and look at the time, I said, Rockstone. Going late, so yeah, for Manning training.
Yeah.
You know? So anyway, did we best and turn and run from there straight down to Manning training. But by the time we reached there, we reached late.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we reached late. Yeah, man. So Devon just look at me and say, you come late and you're not coming from anywhere. It's not like you were doing anything, etc. Because we see you out by a idle laugh and a keke king with girl out there, etc.
You couldn't give me a story, don't say.
Yeah, I give me a story. The man benched me for the first game.
And you were a certain starter.
Look here, I was vice captain of the team.
Kamuchi captain the team. That's a Van.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And to make matters worse, you see him I walk out of the tunnel, right? I walk out the tunnel and I turn now for go sit on the bench,
Yeah.
right? Me hear some little youth who go Meadowbrook in the stand, right? Me hear some little youth, you know, blow out, not now start, you know, not now start. But I shame like dog. If I never want to sit on the bench, I want to go under the bench.
So Jerry, you were at that match. You were at the incident. Jerry, I wonder if you must sleep.
Drop out.
No, I was muting it because somebody was saying something to me. No, I wasn't aware of that story. I'm just listening here, hearing it for the first time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And
Yeah, that's interesting because I didn't realize that Devon would was operated like that, but that's good. So
man.
Mike, I do it to Mike. Mike would have done the same thing.
Yeah, why you think the team was functioning like that? No man, look here. Followed me all the way through life, man. Steady guy.
See,
And then the other thing, I don't know if you recall, but what happened is Donovan got injured in the match,
Yes.
Donovan got injured for the match and could have been out for like maybe most of the season, I think.
Right.
So because Donovan got injured, that is how I ended up being able to go on.
Yeah.
you never start, but you get to go on. Okay.
Me get for go on.
Wow.
Me no late for training after that.
No.
Though.
That sound like the lesson master learned Jerry in that
Same
topic
thing.
of mud. The same sort of lesson.
And he was captain. He was actually captain of the team, right?
Yeah. And the dread bench him.
In a final, in a final.
No, so I tell you, not even so never a chance to redeem himself.
Yeah.
Because I final. No, sir. You see, after that,
But
no, man, when we reach training, not even cock a crow yet.
you reach before everybody else.
Before even rooster wake up, Come on.
Yeah. No, that lesson there, well, I just say it good that Devon was a disciplinarian and because him talk about it and and because you're a head boy and that thing say boy I get a blind. You see me I say to you, but the man say no. And call you out a certain way.
Yeah.
So
And I tell you, it's not even not playing in the match is one thing.
yeah.
But you see the embarrassment of it.
When you hear the little boy them I say, but nuts get better.
The embarrassment of it, man.
And this was the first year Manning Cup resumed after a 2-year absence.
Yeah, and this is my last year at school.
Yeah. Upper six. Right. And you're more than a competent journeyman as in a football. You're playing enough football that you're good enough. You could have competed.
If you go hold it right back.
Hold your own, yeah. No, I remember the match, man. I think Camperdown the beat because Camperdown have a Premier Card man, a captain for them team. Lancelot Adair.
Camperdown beat us 3-0 in that match.
Yeah, man. Lance used to play for Premier Card, Major League team at the time. So. But him the captain Camperdown at the time. Man. Them have some good player, man. Them have some
man. The youth names, the youth play left wing for them named Sam Hunt.
Yes, I remember him. Yeah. And when they play for that team, it was a little youth, Patrick Dad, but I think he wasn't first farm.
Yeah, man. Put him on the chevron, man.
If not, him come on and I go on like big man. You say, you nuts him out of the game, is that? Well, hold on, I just talk about that. I wonder if you remember the incident, because Jared talked about this, And this I remember before said there was a famous match, I think in Trench Town, a man ended up on the cycle track.
You remember who that was, Keith?
Is who that?
A fellow who used to be very quick, used to run track.
I don't Trench Town, a Calabar.
Another one with Diego, when Diego stopped the ball, man, and him just run.
Man. True.
I think a cycle track, if end up slow him down. We have to go up.
You have to go up the grade on the cycle track.
The grade, yeah.
Slow him down.
So you remember that incident, Keith?
We still won the match.
Yeah.
That's how much for me, Trench Town. We upset Trench Town.
That's the same match.
Yeah, the same match. Okay, yeah. I got you. Yeah, but
I don't think we ever played. I don't think Diego ever played because Diego was one of them guys who used to move from school to school to school to
yeah, because
That's
up a
true.
Veer
Yeah,
Tech,
man.
right.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
father, man, master, Dove Master, and playing for Veertech, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those days you could change school and not miss a year. I think after a while now,
That changed that, yeah.
school
Yeah.
abuse the system so much that they say, boy, I'm sit out a year if you transfer.
Yeah. But most of them schools used to do that before Meadowbrook used to do that. All KC used to do that. All of them schools
Oh
used to do that.
gosh.
Yeah, man.
Case
The regular thing.
Mm-hmm.
these schools used to recruit. They would go to the junior secondary places and look for the talent.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Yeah,
only
man. In
but in
all
cricket,
sports. All sports.
track and field.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question, okay. When you play Money Cup in the last year, did you have
Yeah.
any not even ambition, did you have any thoughts say Meadowbrook could actually compete and get better?
Yeah, man. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. Because I knew that the majority, because we now had a program in place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we had players who were competent who were in lower six, so they are going to be there next year.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We had players who were competent who were in fifth form, right? So we actually had a program and people started to play football up at the school. So I never have any doubt
You
that
weren't
we're
shocked
going
that the
to
improvement will take place under Devon at all, cause and then
No.
yeah.
I mean, no, that is just standard once you have a proper program in place, and because the youngsters, the schoolboys who are at Meadowbrook, they're not any different to the youngsters who are at Calabar or any other school.
No.
It's just the opportunity and the guidance.
Yeah, opportunity and the guidance and Devon got the license to start recruiting from outside. Cause that help a whole heap too.
It helped. Yeah, it helped
It
because
help a
the
whole heap.
numbers were low. You see,
Yeah.
until we
In
could
terms of the
start.
talent we have in the school alone, if we never start to like what the other school them, they couldn't compete at all, kid. That's without a doubt.
Yeah, because what you need to be developing players from in the school from early, you know.
And this
You really need like a 4-year league.
yeah, it's a 4 or 5 year thing. And this is what Mr.
Yeah.
Year did wonderfully after you leave and Jerry know about it. It's like him did it with cricket before we even started with football, where after a while the talent is from first farm all the way to sixth farm. It was like it was like in a sense, you know, Jerry, is that Mr. Year was like a technical director of the school, you know, before.
Yeah. He just and he did some very simple things that look simple, but were very effective. I can't recall, Keith. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did we ever have a farm competition like first farm football, second farm football, third farm, where you play each other and one? Well, we only had two, right? A and B. Did we ever have that?
No,
Because
no.
he did that, and he would just say, "Boy, instead of just going to PE, I kick a ball, all right,
But
1B, 1A, and thing." And you'd be surprised. Who can play football? I mean, whoever have any talent, at least everybody's exposed. And if you show interest and thing, and you could find players that way. I think that there were a lot of players who potentially could have played but didn't for whatever reason.
But in all fairness, I don't know when it started, but I know when I went to Meadowbrook, there was farm competition. But it was A, B,
we had host competition, for sure.
But there was farm competition, A, B, and C. So I don't know if it started a little before Mr. Year came, but I was exposed to it. I was exposed to farm competition. And as you said, that it's a whole heap of talent come through that because you come and can play and you compete.
Yeah, man. Yeah, those things are important.
Yeah. I don't know when it started or who instituted that, but what you're saying is that when you just come Meadowbrook, nothing like that existed at all.
If Keith hadn't played football outside of the school system, he wouldn't be on the Man Cup team.
Right. That's true. One thing I'd like to correct though, Jelly, because you said that there was a system that Mr. Here implemented after I left. I'd stopped going to school, but I'd never left.
Well, thanks for that correction, Keith, because I put it, Meadowbrook is like Hotel California, You check out anytime, but you never really leave, So I stand corrected. I feel the same way. Because you never really leave, Keith. You always come back there. Meadowbrook play a Sunlight match or a Money Cup match. You're always there, Keith. That is correct. So, thank you for that correction.
But
Meadowbrook is our hotel California. No matter where we're there, how long afterwards, we never leave it.
yeah,
We never leave it at all. So I agree with you. I
That
agree
is
with
true.
you. I agree with you.
but I went to the game. I went to the game on Thursday.
Well, I was going to ask about that. I mean, I said that is like deja vu. Jerry,
Yeah,
it takes me
Yeah,
Moses and I
yeah.
say, eat love. I mean, I said
was
that's
going
so.
to ask you that question too, but I was waiting until that came up. But you know, I really want to know what you think the reasons are why we that happened, and is it that we have regressed, or is it that there are certain problems now that we can overcome? I want to know what you would think, really.
Yeah,
And I'm
you were
glad
there,
that you went.
Keith. Yeah, tell me exactly what you
yeah,
think happening. Yeah.
yeah, man. We we just starting now to rebuild a program, right? To rebuild a program. The guys who are on the field, they are all young. There's some little youth, them not have any football experience. But I see a lot of potential and a lot of talent, you know. So it's not going to be immediate, you know. It's not going to be immediate. What is most important now, and I said it to the coach and the headmaster after the game, is to try to find a way to keep their morale up, because we played 2 games and we've conceded 10 goals in 2 games. We lost 2-0 to Waterford at Waterford, right? But the team that I see, they're going to get better and better, you know. Beanie is the coach who is a past student,
Which is
you know.
lied Wayne Campbell. We could call him by him right name. Yeah. Wayne.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Beanie was right. I thought Beanie was his right name. Sorry.
Well, hopefully when him come on for the podcast, we will tell him right name, Keith. I've been invited him in, man. When you see him, Keith, you make him know, say, the invitation still open. Open invitation for him come on anytime, yeah.
yeah, I figured that somebody just look at him, see him and say, well, the man your name Beanie, based on the website.
That's
You
how
know.
it. That's how
And
it.
then,
That's what it was, Keith. That's exactly what it was. It was so small, yeah.
yeah, man. And then, you know, I encountered another past student who I know is a Christian fellow up at the school, and up by Constant Spring. And I had to do my best not to accuse him of lying, you know, because this is one of the gobbler them. We can never tell them different. I think it's Paul, you know. So Paul now is telling me that Beanie used to bowl pace in Meadowbrook. Listen, nah, man, I don't believe that. No, why do him jump up when he reach a wicket? Too short. Oh, you need the ball of ball pace.
He was quick. Ask Jelly. It was quick. Quick. I just swing the ball.
Quick, so him get bounced too. I just
Hold
bomb as him.
on, Keith. I don't want this Beanie. I mean, I'll make it this
No,
Beanie.
this the man.
Hold on.
man.
Beanie took the first, I think Beanie took 5 or 6 weeks in a match against Kingston Technical 1 year now. In a Sunlight Cup match, you know. So I don't want to underrate.
The Kingston Tech man never believes ever come both pace. Is that happening?
I know, them never see him. Them never
But that's the thing, you know.
Them just hear the ball come, Keith. Them never see him at all. Exactly.
Listen, Beanie is my brethren and not jiving him behind him back. No, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
He's a good sport, man. A really good sport.
Yeah.
So I remember one time Beanie had a terrible injury, football injury, at playing for Medieval. I mean, Beanie broke his ankle, you know. Shot, you know. And this is how Beanie humorous, you know. Beanie said when him get lick, and him look at him foot, you know, raise up him foot, and this is true. It was so bad that the foot turned the opposite direction, you know. Instead, the toes pointing to the ground. Being a comment was that why I'm thinking foot drop off.
And this is a major league match, Jerry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Terrible injury, man.
Yeah.
About that.
Whoa.
Terrible injury. Terrible. I don't know how Beanie have a million pin in that ankle now.
Possibly.
Whoa.
But Beanie played all of the sports I'm doing at Jerry and Keith.
Yeah.
Beanie was a sprinter. football or cricket, all that sports and being played, man.
Yeah, man. And a good guy. And a good guy.
Yeah,
So
man.
so hold on. So you did high jump too?
Hey, you want being here for work? I thought
Yeah,
be
what?
the
Yeah.
I'm just asking the man go school after me. The jelly same to every sport.
I named the three of them. Sorry.
Well, you should say 3 sports.
All right, my correction, sir. My correction.
the great thing, man. Well,
Yeah, but
Peter, I'm glad to hear that what you just said. Well, make a lot of sense, and if we can build on that, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
yeah,
And
yeah, finish up, Jerry. Sorry.
yeah, no, I was concerned when I hear it. Okay, I mean, you're not there, you hear it, and you sound like, boy, is this? Are we gone back to the days when we were getting them kind of things?
Yeah. God, that's what
But
the my mind.
young team, it will happen. Yeah, don't forget the first year we played, we got to a semi-final in Sunlight Cup.
Yeah, we got
And we were a good
embarrassed.
team.
We got embarrassed.
Right. Yeah, we got bowled out for 70.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember when my good friend Glenn we said, well, boy, Glenn Atkins cracking fast. Who knows? Maybe we can get a miracle and Glenn can run through KC top order. Well, first ball, the ball to Wayne Lewis, When Wayne Lewis hit the ball, it hit so hard, it hit the wall at Kankati and come back to the pitch. So, after that, I think they didn't lose a wicket, right?
They never lose a wicket. That 10 wicket machine again, Jerry. And
Gee, that's all like the story. The story my old boss told you about George Headley,
Yes. You hear that one, Jenny?
No, tell me that one. George Headley play for who now? Jamaica or West Indies?
For Kensington.
For Kensington. Yeah, Lucas, yeah.
And the guy mounted him, the bowler. And he said, when he bowl the ball, you have to be able to see you have to be able to see the picture. When the man bowled the ball, I hit him before the ball bounced off of the wall. The bowler just pick it up on the wicket. I said, good shot, sir.
The man straight driving.
Right back to the non-striker end, And just pick up.
Yeah.
Well, Jerry,
I don't know
I just thought about that, I don't know if you remember this match, There was a certain teacher who remained nameless, and we're going to do in the park, go play a match. And Pat square cut the ball on the hills. I don't know if you remember that, man.
What, with one hand?
Yeah. I pick up.
What, hey, I take it up key time, but one more thing. Our friend Freddie Hitchcock, don't forget about Freddie. Because when you're facing when you're batting and you're facing the gully end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So Hitchcock bowling from the gully end to the batsman. When the man hit Hitchcock, the man hit the ball over the gully. Clear the gully completely. For the yard.
Hitchcock got shown to take the cat. Take him. The ball actually going over the other side of the field. Hitchcock got to take him. Yeah.
Freddie, the slowest off spin.
Somebody called lollipop pick. No, I never saw him. Maybe slower than him, man. I was slower than him. Very.
You turn the ball or something. Freddie was
yeah, Freddie was something like a drifter. Yeah. But let me ask you something though, Keith. Because before I ask you this, I want to comment on the 8 love that we got from and it was George as played.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I mentioned something earlier, and I do have the answer. Just I thought me, I say, would it be better? Because the morale of the team are important to go forward,
Yeah.
I would it be better if we play in a competition where we now get so embarrassed, or it better we play? And I just don't know. I just do have the answer for that because I don't know if we have any comment on that. I don't know.
Yeah, hear what happened now. I don't think there's any other way to for us to start the development.
Don't just play.
Yeah, you have to just play. It requires careful and good handling, as I said, by the coach.
Coach
you know,
staff, yeah.
The headmaster was actually there right? Which for me is a good sign. He was there and he was on the field and him, had a word with some of the players,
Yeah.
So that is a good sign because it sort of indicates that the school is with them and behind them,
Sports
you
oriented,
know.
yeah, because some of the headmaster them are the principal them. Don't really some of them. That's good. That is good news.
Yeah, there's a small group of female students who were there who, as usual, were like drowning out the mass of the Georges people,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And they were cheering all the way through, even with and that was good too. I'm not worried.
Oh, that's good then.
And
That's better
yeah,
news to make it. That the facts that we still have support and the spirit of the school is there. The facts that we're there and compete, and that is important. That is very
I'm
important.
disappointed. I'm disappointed not so much because of that. I'm disappointed because my youngest brother went to St. George's, and I've not been taking his calls.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah.
And then the one in the middle went to KC, and that's who we are next.
Yeah, and that might be. I hope the result's not so bad. I hope not. I hope not. I
I
hope
hope
not.
they're supposed to be a stronger team,
I
but
hope
then
not.
we are more knowledgeable now because I would have loved if we had scored a goal, and
Yeah.
yeah, and I think that with things had gone differently, then I think we could perhaps have put in an attack and we could have scored. I think Jordan was really getting
So
uncomfortable,
so
was getting overly comfortable and was
yeah.
sort of oh,
So
but
so George's team the man them physically bigger than our youth them then.
um
Our
so a lot.
experience more than physical then.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. And some are bigger, and but the guys that we had played, I'm telling you, some of those guys with some more exposure and some more time, I think that they are going to acquit themselves well. What I was hearing is that quite a few of those guys in fifth form, so it's going to depend a lot on whether they're able to return to sixth form. So that really sort of means that we have some work to do because you can't wait until after they take CXC or whatever. Beg your pardon, whatever it name now. What the exam name? What's the
I
name of the
don't know.
exam
Don't
now?
ask. I don't know, Keith. I lose touch
Yeah,
with that.
but
Yeah.
whatever it is, yeah, you can't wait for them to take CXC, and after that, they don't get the required results. That is when you're going to put the headmaster and the form teacher them under pressure, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is too late. No, you need to get into it from now and find out who needs help, right? Which players need help. Put a program in place to make sure that these guys can pass 6 O levels,
Yeah. That's
right?
part. That's
That
part
is
of the
where,
building program to Keith. Yeah, you're right,
yeah,
man.
man, that is where the past students come in. Don't come in and jump up and say at the end when the horse gone through the gate, and you're going to say, oh, the school will allow these people to repeat, and that is the reason why.
No,
No,
it,
no, get them in a program if it means that they have to come to school Saturday morning and we have some sort
yeah.
of extra lessons or
And
something.
that
That's what
and
we
that to
need the
start from
past students to do.
before third farm, Keith. It can't start at fourth farm, fifth farm. This rebuild
Exactly.
have to start from second and third farm.
You're
Once you spot the
correct,
talent
right?
and you decide, say, okay, that youth can't play the football, but you need brushing up on him academics. That's where the program come in. That is where the program come in. So yeah.
Exactly,
We
yeah.
take a coordinated effort. But it can be done. I think it can
Of
be done. I don't
course.
know. The template is there. Mr. Year
Yeah,
did
man.
it and Becky them did it. But as I say, what was that? And them did it. Them did it all organized them not think about it. We are think about it, so I don't see why we can't do it.
And
I don't think Becky came and say he had a plan to do that in a Jerry.
no, man, it's top Shanghai, the man. It's a top
Yeah,
Shanghai.
exactly. And
Yeah.
him recruiting talent was nobody better than him for spot talent in terms of cricketing talent and all of that. So yeah. But
One
Yeah.
thing I'm sure of is that boy, organization is a big, big part of any success of any team. I'm
yeah,
sure Keith has been involved with many, many different teams at higher levels than Manning Cup, and the management has to be there and the support has to be there.
Yeah, man. It's
yeah,
critical.
It's like John and KC, and they have that. They
yeah.
have that. They have that.
And that we don't have at all. And that's what we're trying to put in place, okay. That is what we
But we
have.
have it to a level, and look, it sounds like what Keith is saying. There is that support coming, and that's what we
Yeah,
need.
it coming. But it not formalized, and I think it needs to formalize in a certain way. It's like everybody, if we can look to one body for say, this is where all of the management decisions are come through. So you go to this body and say, but I just know that a different body, I said them I do this and I do that. It need for more officially structured a certain way. That is not a problem, I get the funding. Because that's part of it. And once you have the funding, you get the proper coaching, the proper...
Is the fund and the support, because you remember I heard Freddie talking about that when Freddie was coaching at JC, them man them give him car and
Yeah. That's what we want to reach. That's exactly what we want to reach. That's what can recruit a quality coach like Freddie.
well, right?
Yeah. Him have the support. Yes, exactly.
Here, right? But level of support.
Yeah, man, we can't do it, man. We can't do it. But it'll take a little, and it not take much, but it'll take a few away for us to decide, say, we're going to put the infrastructure. Is that infrastructure need to put in place? But we're not going to wear.
Yes, so what Keith saying, that sounds like it exists. So whatever help, we can give from here, boy, more than willing.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it exists, G. I mean, and let me just insert there the previous administration of the Past Students Association down in Kingston. That's where Dante was president. They had a group of guys who, to my mind, actually came through the system. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, man. So Dante and Minot and
Billy.
And Billy and all of them guys sort of came through the system. I think, I'm not sure what happened, but it's like sort of took the foot off the gas when the administration changed. And this current administration, they don't really seem to focus as much on sports, but they really do yeoman's work when it comes to supporting Meadowbrook students with scholarships and bursaries. I mean, it's what they have been doing is fantastic. They've been doing great work. But for us to have the sort of parallel effort, I think we need to depend on, and I was hoping that we depend on the guys who had sort of been through the Becky and the Mikey era system,
Like us, yeah.
Yeah, that is what. That's what I'm hoping.
I just to back up what Keith said, Jerry. I don't think it exists. I think what happening is like a couple of people with the strength because them go through a certain system, know what to do, like Dante and Billy and Minot. Them know what to do for take for winning now. But it's like we want that infrastructure in place. It's not necessarily personal need. And the infrastructure there is like, you know what to do every year you come in. It don't matter who is there. You have a system in place, but that don't exist at all. I don't think that it has ever existed. And it's something like that you want in place. It don't matter what the principal of the school. It don't matter who is it. Say at the beginning, at a certain time of the year, this is what you're going to do. This is the youth. This is the talent they look for in a second and third farm. This is the way you're going to help them with them lesson. It's just an infrastructure I think no exists. And other schools do it. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We just have to put it in place. And once that is there, I think we'll get a whole heap of funding. I don't think the funding is a problem, but a formal structure after there that you can just decide, say, this is the body where you're going to run through things. And it properly run. And it sets in a way, it's going there long after we gone. That's how I look on it. A foundation then. A foundation like the Dakota or a trust. I don't know the right word at Jamaica. The foundation or a trust that we exist. And I work with the school. It's like you work, the right word you use, work in parallel with the school. It's not like you work as part of the school, You work as a separate organization from the school, and you work in conjunction with them. But you're autonomous from the school, So, but you put things in place. You work with the school, but you not necessarily work under the school. So,
yeah. Well, I hear what you're saying, but you are always going to have to work under the school because of how things are structured. Yeah, you're always going to the board and the headmaster is always going to have to be,
Above
you
you.
know,
Yeah, understand.
yeah, going to have to be in charge. Yeah, because that is like the headmaster is like the CEO,
Yeah,
you know,
understood.
yeah, of the school. So although and which is why you can't, you can't be at cross purposes,
With them, right?
with,
And I think that is the
yeah,
issue, right? No, I agree with you, Keith, and that is the issue. It's like right now you can't say you go do something and you don't have them on board. It just don't make no sense.
yeah,
You gotta run into problem. You want this. It's like, and I don't know how the other school them get around that because clearly KC and JC and all those schools have a system. Them still have work under them schools same way, Keith and
yeah,
Jerry.
man,
But how
yeah,
them do it is like that. In a sense, you bring up something I never think about that is how, and you can find out that Keith. You in a position better than me and know more people than me when it comes to that. How them do that? What kind of system and structure them have in place where them a work under the school as they say, but that still it look like them so autonomous and so powerful. That is literally the school almost have to work with them without a choice.
yeah.
So, but that I got take not much work, but at least you have something to look on and I said this is the way you want to do it. So yeah. But let me ask you something though, because you mentioned football. So you never get to like cricket at all. I never involved in that at all.
No, man, I like cricket, man. I like cricket. Yeah. It's just that what I can say is that you know, I'm very competitive and I would really want to be if I'm playing a sport, I want to be at a level, at a standard in the sport where, where I can compete. And as far as my cricket, the peak of my cricket, I mean, I played like some house cricket or whatever, And of course, I never miss out when there's the opportunity to play in G backyard or whatever. Then,
Up on the red carpet.
Yeah, I miss out in that. But the sort of formal training, that I think I would have needed to develop, into a competent cricketer. That was no, I never got that, so I was able to do it.
So you think you could have faced Beanie then though?
No, you mean, man? After them try about it.
Jeez, you're one of this Beanie that threw a bounce at me, so keep saying.
So like you pushing that line, man. You wait till Beanie catch you.
The man tell me to a big cricketer. So I'm not going to miss the man. Or I'm a smoke there and I'm not a big cricketer. Sure.
Keith, let me ask you something else before we go on to the fun question then.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know this until I talked to him the other day, recently. I'm film podcast that come out of that. Raj, Mason, Brigadier, current Brigadier. I don't know if I say the right title, I don't know, but you know me at that, Raj.
Yeah, man, Brigadier.
And Raj was never a member of cadet at Meadowbrook. And I found that shocking. I didn't know that at all. I'm going to ask you the question. Were you a member of cadet? I know you went into the military after Meadowbrook. Were you a cadet member at school? I know you got involved in that. If yes.
Yeah, I was a member of the cadet corps, but I got involved in the cadet corps actually late in my time at Meadowbrook. Because Mr. Chin, who was the
cadet master,
who was the officer in charge, of the cadet unit, they never had, and something happened, and they just never had many NCOs, so they never had much leadership. It was just a lot of, youngsters from the junior school who were involved. And he saw where that gap existed, and he came and said, "Why you guys don't join the cadet corps?" And I joined.
Which farm you were in at the time? You were already in sixth farm?
No, I wasn't in sixth form. I think I was probably in about fifth form.
Okay, so you joined cadet really late then, yeah?
Yeah, man, I joined cadet late, yeah.
So that was instrumental in you getting involved and joining the JDF?
Not really. I left the cadet corps at the rank of corporal, and but I never had any sort of aversion to the military or joining the military because I'd always, been involved in different groups. I mean, like before I came to Meadowbrook, I was in in the Boy Scouts, and before that there were the Cubs, etc. So there's no aversion. aversion to the military, and so I had no problems with that.
Oh, I got you. It just, I assume that you had to be in cadet for join. Not had to, but it's like, in a sense, it's almost like anybody in the military, it's almost like I assume they were in the cadet.
Okay,
But
no,
it's until I spoke a year right about it, and you kind of confirm it, and I said, not necessarily. It's
yeah.
a different, just it's a career like where you just choose if you want and you like it. Yeah, I got you.
So did he tell you how and why he joined?
Yeah, him did say it was because of football, and I think him say you were instrumental in terms of how him got involved in that. He did mention that. But if you want your side of the story, I'm welcome to hearing it.
Yeah, man. They said that they wanted to. One of the days, career day or whatever up at Meadowbrook. Yeah, man. I landed a helicopter up at the school.
Oh, I heard about that. It wasn't you. It
Yeah,
was
man.
you are Vivian. You.
It's twice, you know.
Oh, you did it and then Vivian did it.
I did it, and then actually later on, life is so funny. Later on, I was in a position to authorize Vivian doing it. Vivian and Francis doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. So what year was that, Keith? You landed the helicopter at Meadowbrook?
Wow. I'd have to go look in my logbook, you know.
Yeah. It was in the same. No, it would not have been in the 70s.
If it was in the 70s, it could have been like 79 or somewhere. Yeah, somewhere on that side. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead. You talk about how you inspired the brigadier. Explain that how that go.
No, well, when when the helicopter lands at the school, nobody else really is paying any attention to any other career,
big excitement.
or any other lecture or anything like that, etc. Yeah, so they shut down and opened it, and a lot of the youngsters who were there came and looked at it, and some of them, including Raj, said, "Boy, this is for me,"
Yeah. And the two times they landed, the same place they landed, on the land at the top field.
I think it was the tennis court,
And the skillful, right? You have Vivian on the skill. I don't know say helicopter have enough space to land at the tennis court. I did not know that at all.
That is not the first time, when Mr. Bogle was
principal.
Yes, you're right. His brother
landed the helicopter there too.
Whose brother?
Andrew landed it on the top field.
Andrew
Bogle.
Oh, Mr. Bogle brother, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Popular these JDF people to land on.
Yeah, I thought about 3 times JDF helicopter land up on Meadowbrook. This is great. I didn't know that at all. I did not know that.
I remember him doing it too. I want big, the entire school. I don't think I was even going to Meadowbrook at that time.
Yeah. That's before you started Meadowbrook. Yeah,
because when I went to Meadowbrook in first form, Mr. Top was already. Mr. Bogle was never principal when we were there.
Yeah.
With him because I used to live across the street. I had 2 sons, my age. I think I used to go to Woodmans. So we were friends. So that's how I knew them. But I think they left right before I went there. So when Mr.
Top came in. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Right.
I didn't know it's a skillful kid. That the Vivian gonna land the thing right between the tennis court. That is
so. Keita were the top guys, man.
Yeah. I know him.
I don't know about that, but actually, that was a small one. That because I landed the big one down by Titchfield. One day I was coming back, I had a mission over by Port Antonio. So I landed over by Titchfield, and at the time the headmaster at Titchfield was the same Mr. Chin who used to be in charge of the cadet corps.
Who inspired for joining the cadet? Yeah.
He must have been. That was you, Keith.
Beg your pardon?
So he must have been thrilled because remember he was our form teacher in 6th form.
Yeah, man. I tell you something. You'd have to put on dark glasses, man. You should see how man's face was beaming.
The man used to cuss us off so down sometimes in 6th form.
Yeah.
You trying to do what, Jerry?
What? The thing was rough sometimes.
Yeah.
was to worry that in sixth form.
Yeah.
There were
Yeah.
days.
Well, I enjoy these classes, you know.
What he taught?
yeah.
I don't him never teach. What he taught?
Geography and
Geography.
econ, I think.
Right.
Econ,
No,
yeah.
I didn't mention that. No, I remember that. Him never teach me, but yeah,
Yeah.
I remember it.
Well, I never did econ, but geography.
Geography. Yeah. All right, Keith. Let me ask you some more questions. Because it seems that you take it to almost I come up on tour and I didn't ask a question yet. I just start with. But we're not going for much longer. Little over two. But, which teacher or schoolmate inspired you while you were going to Meadowbrook?
Schoolmate or teacher who inspired me.
Both of them. I want to give me names of both. The teacher first and then the schoolmate.
Teacher first, I'd have to say Miss Leo, you know.
Miss Leo Ryan, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to say Miss Leo.
And the student where you look on and inspire and I say, yeah.
That's a little bit more difficult. I'd have to give that some more thought.
We come back to that.
I'll tell you who that is. Yeah.
We come back to that. All right. So, any fun memories you have of Meadowbrook in upon the training ground or in the classroom or in a field trip? Any fun memories you want to talk about where you remember I go Meadowbrook?
Listen, let me tell you something. My entire career or stay at Meadowbrook, right? It's just one continuous continuous sequence of fond memories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I mean, I remember, going out on a class trip or excursion, and Diego, who is the older brother of
our Diego, the original Diego, I used to call him. Yeah, Diego.
Yeah,
Leonard,
man,
older
the
brother,
original.
Yeah,
man. I remember.
When first name? I tried from when first name.
Howard,
right, good. Yeah, Howard Johnson, yeah.
Yeah, and I have another story about that too, but I remember him, the waves were sort of rougher than we expected them to be, and we're down by Boston, Yeah, but and I remember him going out into the oncoming waves and bawling out, Jarastafari, etc., etc. I think a pretty heavy wave hit him and he never sounded too, his voice wasn't as strong after that.
I said Rasta get lick out time.
Yeah, it wasn't a Rasta man, but it just seemed like the appropriate thing to say,
Yeah, so as you talk about him, how did he get the name Diego? I mean,
I think at some stage, I don't know if he came from Diego, because I came there and saw him. G?
I want to think. I think that is it. I think he spent maybe just like you, maybe he spent some time in that part of the world and might have gone to Diego. And I'm not 100% sure, but I would ask him. I think that's it. That's it, because there's no other, I don't see how else it could have been.
Yeah, when we get coming up, we have to do one with Diego. I come up, but we have to postpone it because something else would come up and so when we get on Diego, I forgot. Maybe I remember it, I don't know, but I'm curious to know. I know the Diego we know is not the original. What me know is not the original Diego. So coming up,
you have the original. The original is Howard.
Yeah,
Howard
right. No, I know that.
Yeah.
I know that.
So, G, did you know that Diego's elder brother was like a very senior policeman?
No, I didn't know that.
I knew that too. I know that. But I know that too. I know that kid. Yeah, he never got Meadowbrook or not like that, and I think it was like maybe. I don't know. So I'm not going to say.
Well,
it was like older brother. Yeah, put that way there.
Yeah, man. Like through the JD.
Tilford was his name. Tilford is his name.
Yeah, man. Was an assistant commissioner or something like that.
Yeah.
And I knew him very well from the JDF,
Mm-hmm.
And one evening I was down by Beverly watching a youth match taking place. And I saw him down there. So I said to him, but, John, what you doing down here? He said, no, man, I must ask you what you doing down here. So I said, well, I'm the president of the club. So he said, well, that youngster out there who is playing. We were playing against, it was a Meadowbrook youth team who was playing against some, must say the Beverly club team
Yeah.
or some youth team. So he said that youngster, like he would say, that youngster out there who is number 9, right? Is my son, that is why I'm here.
Yeah.
I said, what? I said, I didn't know he had these links to this great school. He said, of course I have links. Matter of fact, I have brothers who went to this school.
Wow, I did not know that.
Somebody said, like who? Who? He said, Howard Johnson. I said, what? Diego is your brother?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Man, a small world, you know?
Yeah, I knew that.
Didn't know that.
I knew that long time kid because I used to go check Diego. From out that school, I used to go up on most of my road, and I used to see him brother up there, right?
Like Highland Drive.
Yeah, man, up on Highland
Yes,
Drive. Yeah, that's why I know that. That's why I know that.
Yeah.
I know that. Yeah. He was that brother.
That was a big shock to me,
Yeah,
and to
yeah.
him too.
Yeah. So any other fun memories you have? You talk about the beach with Diego. Any other memories you had?
Yeah, at Meadowbrook.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, man. A lot of fun memories. Because we had the we entered the inter-school drama festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we won. You know, Meadowbrook won. Yeah.
What year this was?
Boy, I don't remember, but what I do remember is that I got a prize as best actor, but we never get any Oscar still. It was just,
You're right. You do everything. You do those part. You compete in everything was available. Yeah.
yeah, man. Yeah. That was a fun memory. That was good. I enjoyed that.
You know, I'm afraid to compete at all. I hear you. All right, let me ask you another question, Keith. What the most embarrassing moment you remember at Meadowbrook? You can look back on with a smile.
I told you.
What, the peanut head?
Nah, man. Devon benching me for the opening match of the Marlins Cup season.
I got you.
And the little boy. I hope you weren't one of them little boy.
No, I wouldn't. I was in the bleachers. That's why I got stuck. I wouldn't have been in the grandstand to call you.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, because I still carried feelings, you know. I don't know if I could just sit down and quiet, you know.
I would not have been in the grandstand. And I did that first time, I wouldn't necessarily know your nickname and all them things. I want to kid.
Yeah, true.
All right. Let me ask you another question. What's the best learning experience you get from Meadowbrook?
The best learning experience, I think, was with Miss Leorini. I think so, with Professor Leorini.
Professor
Leorini. Get
Leorini.
our title properly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man, because she really sort of sat us down and spoke to us about the bio and how to approach it, and you know.
Yeah.
And like I say, you know, it's like she caused the subject matter to virtually, you know, sort of get up out of the pages of the textbook, you know.
Yeah.
And everything was just so real, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, but you have to put in the work, you know. Put in the work.
Let me ask you a question that just come to me. I'm going to say I forget your perspective because I just say you never really leave Meadowbrook. I never really leave Meadowbrook at all. When Meadowbrook started winning competition in the early 80s, and we started not cricket before football. Two questions with that. Were you surprised that we started winning in the way we won in the 80s? And why you think we won at cricket before we became successful at football?
No, I wasn't surprised at all. I was not surprised at all because to a large extent I was sort of there.
Yeah.
You know, because I used to sort of move with G and, you know, and Becky and McGregor.
Yeah, man, I remember you come out of the match. I remember that, right.
Yeah. So I could see the system.
Yeah.
You know. I could see the system. I could see what the dread was doing, and so I knew because I was actually part of a building process in the JDF with football at that time, which the coach at the time was Raymond Beek. And he had put a program in place. And I realized that if you have a proper program in place, and but listen, it's almost like you can almost manufacture the talent,
Yeah. Without a doubt.
There are some things in team sports which are, believe it or not, even more important than talent.
Yeah. And the system is one of them.
Yeah, man. You can have 11 people who play, right? Who play what I would call average. Yeah, play average cricket, right? And them can go out there and beat a team with Lara playing for it.
Yeah. Yeah, with far superior talent individually. Yeah.
Yeah. They just go out there and just do what they're supposed to do. Yeah, so it never surprised me.
Never surprised you. So why do you think cricket developed before football?
Well, actually, it's strange, because I think the turnaround started with football before cricket.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But to get to the height, but to get up to the heights, the domination of it, right? I think that was cricket first, and the reason is because cricket is, in many respects, even as a footballer myself, look here, cricket is a more intellectual game than football, And I believe, I'm sure there are a lot of people who disagree with me, but I believe that that the program that Mikey here had in place and the program that Becky had in place with the coach by the time they got into like the senior team and that program. Yeah, it is, if you have people who are disciplined, as players, and they do what they are supposed to do, right? And they're consistently doing what they're supposed to do, then you can really just sort of hold that line.
Yeah.
And that can carry you right through a competition. Yeah. And so although the turnaround sort of started with the football before the turnaround of the cricket. Yeah, that is the reason why I think the cricket was able to just maintain that system.
Yeah, because the level, as I say, it's a more intellectual sport, and it's like once you put it in place, the system almost not easier, but it easier for coach in a sense once the system in place. Yeah.
And you see during the game, cricket, maybe because you have more time, you have to think. You have to think more. Right? Yeah. In the football, you don't really have that much time to sit down and contemplate. You can sort of sit down and say, boy, like the forward that come now and etc. A lot of it is gonna be instinctive and based on the training. But you as a bowler, as a captain like you were, etc. You can try read out a party, and set some trap for some batsman and all them type of things. You can do that and go right. Yeah, and you can go right too.
Let me ask you a question more. I just come and Jerry, why your input on this thing, but you first, Kid. Of the two victories in my mind, let me ask you a question. Which one was more important to you, or which one you felt better about? When the first one, Sunlight, or when we finally win the Walker Cup? Because a footballer, to me, I love football just as much as cricket. And football is a more prestigious sport in Jamaica in terms of popularity. Which one you think was more important to you for Meadowbrook?
Me personally?
Yeah.
You remember who we beat in the Walker Cup final?
Yeah, man.
Who that was?
Don't know.
You remember?
Don't know.
All right. You remember who we beat in the Sunlight final?
Yeah, man. Yes.
Who was that?
Calabar. Calabar.
Me don't really, no disrespect, but me don't really know anybody who went to Dunoon at the time. But the Calabar man then used to give me hell, You hear me tell you that in my neck of the woods.
Yeah. Because only for
They
Calabar
have,
man live a you and then. Yes.
yeah, man, Brady and all them, man, etc., you know.
Yeah.
Aki of blessed memory
Yeah,
and
Peter
so on.
Atkinson, yeah, another Calabar
Look
man,
here.
yeah. God rest
Yeah,
his soul, too, yeah.
them man, they used to give me a hard time, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And after, when Meadowbrook beat them in the final, etc., but I don't know, it's like some man just missing up, you know, it just can't find it. I
Yeah.
mean, I have two brothers-in-law, both of whom went to Calabar. My sister's husband went to Calabar. My wife's brother went to Calabar. Right? So there was great exposure, and there was a match in that same sequence, I think, where we had to knock off KC head.
Yeah, man, yeah. When they beat up Casey on the way to winning the year, yeah, to do, yes. Yeah.
And years where I get blows from people, you know. Look here, let me tell you something. You know Woodhaven Avenue, right? You know it's a long avenue.
Yeah, man.
Uh,
From Mulland Road all the way up to Reynolds Road, yes.
okay, I played in a Manning Cup match at the stadium, right? And I think, matter of fact, it was Calabar we played because Brady was keeping. Brady, a good friend of mine,
Yeah.
right? And we scored on them, you know. I think what if they scored on us? The Dose, you remember that guy?
Yeah, man.
Dose was from Pembroke, huh?
I think I'm doing the park. I know where you're talking.
Doing the park, down that side.
Yeah.
So they beat us, right? So anyway, the people who were at the stadium who are spectators, they would reach home before the people who are players, because you know, I forgot change the room.
Yeah.
So I am walking by my lonesome. By now it is dark, it's night. And when I take the corner up the top of
Woodhaven
Avenue, and I look down the road, right? There's a gathering under the street light by my gate, you know. All of them down there, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of the KC, the Georges, the Excelsior, because all of the guys who usually play with us are down there, right? Standing up at my gate under the street light, waiting for me to come home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To come jive me or something like that.
I never look on it away before, Keith. But you're so right about that, right? It's like,
So I had to listen, man. Okay, that after suppose maybe these are the things that caused me to join the army because they have to utilize all kind of tactics. So I had to make a tactical withdrawal. I had to turn back.
You couldn't face that ambush at all, no.
No, sir. I turned back, walked back up the road, and went all the way around to Hewenden and came down, and my house was like a corner lock.
Yes, they could have come through the side fence,
Jump over the side fence and went into my house.
I'm so tired of waiting for you.
Bathe, sit down and eat my dinner, and them out there still waiting for me, you know.
Come ambush you, yeah.
Yeah, etc. Right? Yeah. So look here. So and then because I went to Meadowbrook, I used to get this battering all the time.
Yeah, because we used to get whole heap of beating, Keith.
Yeah, man.
Whole heap of beating.
All the time.
I never looked on away before. I grew up at Pembroke as a year, and I whole heap of Calabar man live at Pembroke and KC, man. I just say, you don't know man live at Pembroke at all. You're not knowing that at all, no.
Yeah, no, and then remember also in my household, my little brother went to KC.
Yeah.
And the other one went to George's. And I mean,
I hear you. Yeah, man. I understand the significance of that first one is like it shuts up a whole heap of people, man. And I say, all right, take that. Take that. And Jerry, the same question go for you, because I never asked you the time I asked, which one more important to you in terms of the significance?
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the cricket was nice because we were so involved, and it's like you work and you actually see it happening. I think that was good for personal perspective. And certainly what Keith said, there were more Calabar people around who you could finally get a chance to give them back what they have been giving us for a long time.
Yeah.
Townsend, your good friend Dougie Townsend and them, man used to kill them, and with Mount, constantly. The football, though, I thought the football was significant, even though it was done in that it was like what you said earlier, that football is like a bigger sport.
Yeah.
It is. Yes.
And to actually know that we could actually win a major trophy.
Yeah.
And the way we want to keep Jerry, the
breakthrough.
style of our win, yes.
Because, let's face it. You remember when we had that Money Cup, the Calabar final there. How many people were at that final?
Not much at all. Not much.
Not really.
Maybe. Because in the middle of the day, cricket starts at 10 o'clock. People have them work and things, you can't really 2 days.
Yeah.
Whereas I was at the stadium when we won we beat the stadium was rammed.
Yeah.
People were there.
And G, I don't know if you guys remember also, there was a great similarity between Meadowbrook's outfit and Brazil's outfit,
That year, yes. The green, the yellow and the blue, yes.
Yeah, man. They live in Brazil, that,
But both of them were welcome. And then we went out to beat Casey in the next 2 times, right?
We beat Calabar again another time, which would have been sweet for Keith to beat them 2 times. And we beat Casey.
Beat Casey in a semi-final, and when Raj them won it, that was a final.
Yes, the final when Raj won it and them lift Raj off the field. Yes. That was a final. And Reese captured the team, yeah.
Raj opened the batting, and I think Raj make a quick 50 or a quick something because...
Yeah, well, we look at the score without losing wicket at all. I remember that, yeah.
So, but of course, the victory against KC is always satisfying more than anything else.
Yeah, because them chat so much.
Yeah, that goes without saying.
Yeah, man. We have we have more than enough bragging rights to say, can't take that and go on like that. Yes. Yeah.
We had KC was infiltrating Meadowbrook High because yeah, Dave Smith and his brothers, about 4 of them. They had the Hunts, David and Wayne.
Yeah.
Paul. And the man and the father used to go to KC. Them man rabid KC.
Yeah. It did make a difference. It's the same thing for me at Permacal. Whole Calabar, man.
I'm sure we beat KC in the football that year because I remember Wayne Hunt, who was a really, really talented player. He used to play for the minor league in Meadowbrook.
That's a Waka younger brother.
Yeah, I remember Wayne take a free kick and hit the crossbar and come back. And vex. I know we beat them. We had to.
Yeah, well,
because it probably was a run up to the Walker Cup thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was satisfying just to beat those teams.
Yeah, but that was good.
And off my epaulets either. I will take the cousin. Because where was I going to? Right? They all knew where I went.
Yeah.
They knew where I lived. So
you couldn't hide that.
I tell you, and then boy G, it's like I got down to Upper Camp to the JDF, and it's like you just book up on a whole nest of them,
Same way.
Yeah, a whole nest of these guys from the different schools who ready to join, etc.
So come rebel and I said no.
Yeah, man. So it was good, but it's good fun,
It was good for fraternity. It was good to finally, as I just said, Meadowbrook decide, so we have arrived in a sense. We can't come talk about it a certain way no more.
That's what I like about sports as well,
Yeah, man. Yeah. Sports is a significant thing. I think, and I hope the principal we have now see the significance of sports. And I hope to hear some of them conversations because I think it galvanizes a school when nothing else can do.
He was at the game.
Yeah, that's a good sign. That's a good sign.
Yeah, man. He was involved 100%. Yeah,
that's a good sign. I
think
sports.
Mr. Facey.
Yeah. Sports will motivate a school when nothing else now go to a team sport. I'm put that way because
team and individual sports. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And individual.
Yeah. It's not why we did it before. It means that we can do it again.
Yeah, man. That's exactly.
You should ask yourself the question: are we ever capable of doing that? Is it possible?
Mm-hmm.
I think once we have proven that it is possible, then it's just to repeat it. Even if we don't win all the time, just to be right there.
Just to start compete again, man. That's what I want, man.
I think we've done it.
Yeah, and also we have to make sure that the opportunity is there for the students, right, to participate in that way because there's just so much that 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 young people learn from participating in sports.
Mm-hmm.
To the extent that if you try to go on to, to tertiary education, especially if you're getting a scholarship or if it's some program that's hard to get into, the people who are selecting, they are looking for people who are rounded. They
Mm-hmm.
want to see people who have participated in sports, have done this, not just sports, but everything,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Same if you're trying to get a scholarship. And even when they go on for some jobs, they sit down and the people who are recruiting look at it and they say, oh, well, this person you used to be involved in this, you know how to be a team player, how to
Mm-hmm.
fight back from a loss or these are all important lessons, and
Mm-hmm.
our responsibility to make sure that the kids who are there in the school now have can take advantage of these, can learn these lessons by participating in sports.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, most of the time you just want to learn how to compete, man, and then you can start learning how to win. But you have to compete first. You get some defeat. That's a part of the game. That's
Yeah.
part of the game. That's part of the game. But may I ask you
And,
another question, Keith? Sorry, you have something you want to add, Keith?
no, I was just going to say I don't buy into the system like up where you live there, Jelly, where like eight youngsters running the race and all eight of them get a medal.
No, I don't subscribe to that. I do
You
not.
know, I
That's
don't know
that.
that is. I guess maybe the psychologist will say that that is the right way. I don't know, but
No, that it should have prove that was a serious mistake they make on a culture. Yeah, so everybody will win. If you not compete, you can't get better, man. That's absolute rubbish. I go up on
uh,
record to say that. That's foolishness. So
yeah, man, you can lose. There's nothing wrong with
yeah,
that.
man, nothing
But
wrong with that at all.
yeah, man, the important thing is how do you handle that loss? Yeah,
Exactly, because life that it's life that
yeah,
you gotta lose
that is
sometimes. So
life.
yeah, exactly. So you
Yeah,
come again after you lose. You fall down, so you get up back and move again. So yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
So even though I live
Here's
here,
the
Keith, I don't subscribe to it. Just let that be straight. I don't subscribe to that at all. I cuss most it all the time too. But let me ask you something else. What life lesson you learn at Meadowbrook you pass on to your friends and family?
How important it is to network and to not try to go through life on your own. You know, make connections, friendships with people. Try to keep them going. Try to get along with people. It really does makes life easier as well as it makes life more meaningful. And Meadowbrook really sort of engenders that approach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tegra put it the right way. Dante or Donovan Thomas. He said teamwork
Yeah,
made the
makes
dream
the
work.
dream
Yeah,
the dream
I
work.
agree with him. I agree with him.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Because a lot of people think them can do it on their own, and it's possible. But trust
but
me.
it's a hard way,
Yeah, man,
the
that's the
harder
harder
way.
way, man. It's so much easier and so much more fun when you get a team behind you, man, or you just make connections, Keith, and you work with a team thing. It is just so much easier, as you say. It's so
Yeah,
much easier, Keith. So I hope people hear that message. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. All right, so I'll ask a couple of questions there. What message you have to existing students, our future students, our staff member? We're going to hear this message next year, 10 years' time, 5 years' time. What message you have for them who are going to Meadowbrook and hear we attack on this?
well, a number of things. One of the things that I've always said to Meadowbrook students and past students, is no matter what happens in life, you are always going to be Meadowbrook.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You'll always be a Meadowbrook past student. So even if when you are trying to to do something for the school as a past student, and you may well not see eye to eye with maybe a staff member or, or the principal or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that these people, they are there as employees and their heart may be in it. But when you have somebody who is a staff member, whether senior or junior staff member, at Meadowbrook, who went to say a KC or a Immaculate or whatever, they will always be identified as a, Andrews girl or Immaculate girl or a KC boy or a Calabar boy. Even though they are staff members up at the school, but you will always be a Meadowbrook student, a Meadowbrook, So you have to stick it out. You're there for the long haul.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. You're there for the long haul. If it means that you have to wait out something or find another approach, then you find another approach. But you are Meadowbrook. We are Meadowbrook.
Yeah, Miss
You
McLaren used to put it that way too. I say, you come on Meadowbrook, yeah. So I know exactly what you're talking. Miss McLennan, our spanners with affectionately call her, put it the same way. Say, you're Meadowbrook. She said that to Hitchcock. To some people are here, but like for the paycheck, she was talking to Hitchcock being a member of staff, and she said, no, but you are Meadowbrook.
Yeah.
And once you embrace it that way, the man, Meadowbrook never leave your man. And you never
So
leave
Jelly,
it either.
that's right. So Jelly, as you mentioned that, I just wondered, you knew that that G was Spanner's teacher's pet?
No.
He
Tell me
never
about
tell
that.
you?
Tell me about that. I didn't know that. Let us hear that.
It's two pet I know about that Spanner had. Right? One is my friend G, and the other one is the lady who became my wife.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, who is also
I know
a
that
past
Clyde
student.
was a much better student than I was. She was trying with me.
I was just going to ask that. Oh, them Spanish. That's how I asking if they being a pet, they work out to be good Spanish speaker, Keith.
Yeah,
Well, I was adequate. Claude, it was brilliant. Right? I mean, I think she went to like the Spanish sixth form, which would be like that would be unheard of for me. I was like, man, I'm dying to get out of this one.
Jelly, all I can say is that they were better than me, but that is no recommendation for them.
For Spanish, yeah. So it look like being a teacher spent paid off then for both G and your wife. Keith.
It looks so.
Yeah.
I passed O level, but I mean, like, nothing spectacular, but I passed. But I'm sure Claude was gotten distinction. He couldn't go to sixth form and do them things.
No, you couldn't go to sixth form and do the Spanish and yeah. Well, let much better. Yep, go ahead.
I think our first degree was Spanish and Econ.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow. That's a different class. Well, when you hear my Spanish story, I was more interested in what my floating pen had more than the Spanish class. So.
At the time, Meadowbrook had some choices that, were a little bit weird because it was like Spanish was clashing with commerce, so you had to choose one.
Yeah, so that's true.
Because econ, which I did, then commerce would have been a good thing to combine, but I couldn't do it because I was doing Spanish. So
yeah.
I guess limitations of what it was in others. But I guess he didn't have that many teachers. I don't know.
And that's another thing again, Keith, you mentioned a long tradition of Meadowbrook to Meadowbrook couples. Because this week the first couple came on the podcast. So it funny you mentioned that you and your wife and when you met at school or after school and you meet. Because the couple that came on this week, they didn't get married till years later.
Yeah, I know that couple you're talking about, Lysander
and Dwight. Yeah.
I was Lysander's form teacher. I think they married different people first, right?
Right. Yeah, it was. When this, yeah.
And they ended up. That's an interesting story. I must listen to that one.
That's a very interesting story. That's a very interesting story. And I didn't realize that until I talked to them that they realized that it was a second marriage for both of them.
Right, I remember.
Yeah,
I remember.
And it's not the first set of people who I hear that a girl was on before, same thing. She married before and then ended up back married to a Meadowbrook guy. So, as I said, look
There,
like,
Keith and Claudius is one. There's also Noel Williams and Jennifer Williams. Jennifer Williams used to teach Spanish at Meadowbrook again too. I think she was also Miss Protege.
that's
Yeah.
Diet's sister, Mikey Diet.
Mikey Dyke's sister and Don Youth mother and father.
Yeah. Well, it's in my family too, because my sister married to Stedman Mason for a little while in the 80s.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm Patrick married to Allison, so both of them went to
Right.
Meadowbrook. So. The tradition go all the way around, Keith. It's not like
Yeah. And Alan to G. No, Alan married to
Alan
Clark,
Clark.
you know, married to
Christian with Christian,
Yeah.
yeah.
Alan Clark, yeah, talk, yes. Yeah.
And Sandra Christian.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, man. So the tradition of Meadowbrook is great when it comes to keeping it in the family. So.
My brother, Davon and Sharon Beans, Davon Bell
True. Yeah.
Another one.
Another Meadowbrook couple that as well. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, well, they didn't stay married, but they got married
Yeah.
at one point.
Yeah. I know how you guys follow me and get in any trouble, but you know, let me just tell you, we sort of realized from early on that the best girls around are Meadowbrook girls.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. You don't have to say the thing if it will get you in trouble, you know. Just leave it there.
Yeah, you can't afford to say that. Right, Jerry. You
Can't argue with that. There were some. I mean, like, I have so many friends that are,
Yeah,
who
I will argue.
are really, I think Meadowbrook. I think the good thing about Meadowbrook was that I don't know. Especially when we went there, it was a small school, and I think that, so I think that probably went on at other schools. I don't think it went on at our school. I don't know. It was a pretty straight-laced school, which is a good thing.
No, it was a good. I mean, this story where Keith described where the man will look behind for them bag. That alone, in terms that describe the nature of the school. That describe the nature of the school. And you talk about in the earliest, in the 74 when I go to school, or about a man that take up your bag, you could leave your bag anywhere. So
Yeah.
that describe. But I agree with the Keith. Meadowbrook, the girls in my Meadowbrook was, I have no complaint at all either. So yeah. So, I will leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. But let me ask the last question before me ask it. The second to last question. It's not really a question. It's just a comment I want from either one of us. And you first, Jerry. Any question or any topic where you think I could ask Keith, why didn't I ask him?
Wow. Well, I think you did a good job there. It one caught me off guard. Did I have a question that I wanted to ask him? No, the only thing I would touch on quickly is that we never asked him about his career as a airline pilot, and how as far as trying to associate that with Meadowbrook, were there any other Meadowbrook people that you mentored into Air Jamaica and subsequent Caribbean?
Well, yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, well, I guess I could claim Vivian Thomas.
I was thinking of that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you a quick story about Vivian. I don't know if you remember the story, Keith, when Owen Oliver was a prefect, and I don't know what Vivian was doing, what he should not have been doing. So Owen is giving him a detention now. And what is your name, boy? Nigel Nugent. Owen write up a thing for Nigel Nugent who does not exist.
Yeah, Vivian is sharp on feet away. Yes. Yeah. So for the record, Keith, how long you work at Air Jamaica in terms of years?
Well,
What year you started? Put that way. Where you started flying at Air Jamaica?
when I started,
Yeah.
I started Air Jamaica in 1988.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were there
So,
any other people there, Keith, apart from Vivian? Nobody else,
Sorry.
right?
If what?
Were there any other Meadowbrook graduates at Air Jamaica aside from Vivian?
Uh,
Can't think of it.
not well, not that I'm aware of. At one stage I heard that I don't know. I was trying to find out if Courtney wouldn't pass through Meadowbrook or if Larry Lee was a child if they passed through Meadowbrook, but I don't think so. I think it was just myself and Vivian.
Mm-hmm.
I think Courtney went to GSE with Chris.
Right. Yeah.
And Vivian flown at Air Jamaica before you went to I think him there in the Middle East now fly.
Well, yeah, he's back now, but he was at Air Jamaica before he went over to Etihad or Emirates.
So him back with Caribbean Years now?
No, not with Caribbean Airlines. He's just back in Jamaica now.
Okay. I got you. I didn't even know that. I thought he was still flying for the Emirates. Yeah. So
that was
yeah, go ahead.
that was it.
Yeah, okay. So the same question applied to you, Keith, because a lot of people come on this conversation and it's like the next morning they would have called me and say, boy, Jelly, say I forget to tell you about this or that. So the last I'm leaving it up to you. Any question, anything I could ask you, any topic where you want to talk about that I didn't bring up at all. The floor is yours.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah, I would in terms of Meadowbrook families, etc. My sister Constance was also at Meadowbrook, and my younger sister Alison, but we never crossed paths at Meadowbrook because by the time Alison got there, I had left.
Mm-hmm.
And I married into another Meadowbrook family, the Subadan family,
Mm-hmm.
and there were, let's see how many now. I think four of the sisters went to
Meadowbrook.
Yeah, right. I also had a nephew who went to Meadowbrook. That's Chris Moore's son, G. He went to Meadowbrook. So so Meadowbrook has always been, like a family-oriented school. A lot of people have siblings who went there.
Yeah. That
went
was
there
my
a lot.
experience at Keith. It's like you never go to Meadowbrook on a turn and see somebody related to somebody in a higher or a lower farm. That was
Yeah.
a
So so I'm very grateful to all that Meadowbrook gave to me. I left from Meadowbrook. I went straight into the army, straight after my last A-level exam. Went straight into the army, and I was in the army for 13 years.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and after that, I went into the civilian aviation. So
I think it's hard work at Air Jamaica.
yeah, eventually. So I flew for a total of 46 years, and I just retired a couple of weeks ago.
Wow, that's a long year fly. That's a long time.
So
Time flies. Time.
Yeah, so I'm thankful for what I got from Meadowbrook. I was pleased that I was able to actually see Mr. Thorpe and Mrs. Thorpe down in Barbados sometime after they left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you remembered Kane, you?
No, but he remembered enough to beam and to tell his friends who were around him that I was one of his former students, in whom he was.
Where did you see him under what circumstances?
It was actually Vivian. It was Vivian who was getting married in Barbados, and I went down there for the wedding.
Yeah, because Vivian's wife is a Bayesian,
That's right.
I knew them. My son and Vivian, older son, went to prep school together, so I used to meet them. That's before I migrated here. Just when my son did start Meadowbrook prep, so yeah. That's why I know his wife is a Bayesian. Yeah. I met his wife and everything, so yeah.
That must have been nice though, because boy, I always said it was such a shame that Mr. Thorpe left Meadowbrook,
Yeah.
Although I understood why they did, but it's tough. I think the school really suffered.
Yeah,
Not that Mr. do a good job, and she she made her own contribution. But boy, that talk was just like a special one, boy.
Yeah. And for the record, we keep calling him name, but we don't call out him full name. So Vivian Thomas.
Yeah.
He was head boy at Meadowbrook. I had a younger brother who, I think, the only man who ever win class 300 meter for Meadowbrook, Howard Thomas.
Yeah.
So, again, another family connection again, Keith and Jerry. Yeah. So,
I want you to double check that record for me, because I remember when Jeffrey Walters winning that first,
No, the class 3 100 meter.
Yeah.
No, man. No. Well, we can double check it, but I think Jeffrey won the 400 class too. But I think Howard Thomas, Jeffrey came second at the 100 class 3. But we can double check it.
Yeah, man.
I will ask Jeffrey. Brother. No.
Yeah.
And then we're running down either, but Howard Thomas, I know, definitely won the class 3 100 meter at Meadowbrook, I think. And a Vivian younger brother, so I just talk about Vivian Thomas. I say,
yeah, man, and it's actually one of the wonders of the world, Yeah, which I've asked Vivian about,
What that?
How come the brother's a big track star? What to you?
So slow.
No, it's not only slow. I don't remember Vivian having no athletic skills, so I understand.
I don't know, but I can tell you this: the mess in Up Park Camp is a very, very harsh place when you are very junior. So there are questions like that you are required to answer. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
we have a brother with certain skills. I hear your kid. Yeah.
What was your purpose to eat Mr. and Mrs. Thomas food? It's not a brutal people, but a brutal place. Yeah. You have to be able to bat pace bowling when you're going to those places.
Yeah. You have to be able to take the mountain.
Vivian was slick, Vivian had an answer for everything, man.
Yeah, man.
Bad man, yes.
It was quick and feed to that, man. That's why you tell me without the answer when you get the prefect. That never surprised me at all. That's something I tell you.
Always that guy, though. Always.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And I can tell you, he was particularly sharp on the parade ground as a cadet,
Mm-hmm.
Was a first class cadet.
Anyway, Keith, let me ask you the last question before we wrap up.
Yeah.
What made Meadowbrook magical?
The staff and the pupils, right? The staff and the students. And with staff, not just academic staff, Yeah, that way to leave out the auxiliary staff,
Support the staff, them, yeah.
Yeah, man. There's Mr. Senior up at the school, Reds down at the bottom field. Everybody, Yeah, that's what really made Meadowbrook magical, You come there and you're just you're absorbed into the spirit of how we do things the Meadowbrook way.
Yeah.
Part of the family,
I like how you put that, Keith. I love that. The Meadowbrook way. When you come to Meadowbrook, you have to do things a certain way. It's not like nobody having a whip over you.
Yeah.
You just always expect you to behave, and so most people come to Meadowbrook, you just have to behave a certain way. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Leave your bag and leave other people's bag.
Yeah.
I have to just interject quickly, man. What you talk about Reds at bottom field? One day, Mr. Top asked me, "Have you seen Mr. Barnes?" I don't know who he might talk about,
That again is a nickname thing we talk about from the beginning of Keith. It's like
it's true.
That's so true, because you're right, Jerry, if you bring that up in there. You say Reds, and most people know what we are talking about. If you ask a woman, no.
We people call him Mr. Reds.
Yeah, because you don't have to disrespect the big man.
Yeah.
It's only now that G mentioned the name.
You don't remember my name as Barnes,
I said that. If I remember, I said Mr. Senior, If I remember his name, I would have said Mr. Barnes.
Yeah, Mr. Barnes. Because that son who played Sunlight for Meadowbrook, Kingsley.
Yeah.
Kingsley Barnes. Very good batsman, too. We play a cold scene where we reached the cold final at 77, Jerry. So, yeah.
Right.
But Becky the coach. Yeah, man. A very, very, very good player, too, man. A very good player. But you're right.
Little Reds.
Yeah. Hey, G, I remember them asking a question on a previous podcast, which you can answer. Yes. When you got to Meadowbrook, Pekka was there?
I want to say yes, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah,
Maybe I will ask.
that's a good
Yes,
question I bring up in a
I
kid
remember
because
Miss Lawrence. I remember Miss Lawrence was there. Definitely.
Yeah. Remember Miss Lawrence under the tree?
Yeah, but I'm not sure what I want. I think Pekka was outside maybe first, and then they after a while they
Even
brought him.
then, I
yeah,
just
man, you must,
remember asking you if was he there outside when you got to Meadowbrook?
Oh, I think so. I'll stick my neck out, but I might be wrong.
no, you're right. Him coming after a while, G. It's like we did campaign for him come inside after a while. But I want to
That's
pick origin story, yeah.
that's after we left though,
Yeah,
because I don't remember him
after I
coming in
leave,
when we
Keith.
were
It
there.
was like when you're in a fifth, I think when you're in a sixth farm, then we want to lock out Pekka one year, and we decided and I said, no, we can't do that. And it was like a revolt at the school, and I said, and then actually say, all right, we can bring, not, we can't leave Pekka out, because after we build the wall, you remember that great wall?
Yes.
And Pekka used to stay outside, and then afterward, they want to keep Pekka outside. And I said, no. And then Pekka got him spot
When
under the tree.
when you came to Meadowbrook, Keith, and said when you
Yeah.
Jerry? I don't know if him touch mute again. Eh. Yeah, go ahead, Jerry, yeah. Jerry,
no, I was
break
saying
up.
that I was asking Keith if you recalled if Pekka was there in second form. I'm not sure.
But here, G, to tell the truth, I just don't remember a time when Pekka wasn't there.
Right. I want to think he was, but I'm not sure. No, that you say, boy, I can't remember. I don't remember. I remember eating them bun, the canteen, them bun and patty combination. You remember? I tell you, I don't know if I were to eat that now, boy, I just locked down for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, but yeah, go ahead, kid.
Yeah, I'm going to have to consult with somebody, some
Bert
people in
Samuel.
the school who are senior to me.
Yeah, no, I want to do that too. I want to do that. I just said maybe Bird Samuel, somebody was there before, no. Can I go there?
Now look a bit before. Maybe somebody longer than that.
Who that?
Yeah, well, I forgot to ask Carol and some of Claudette's sisters if they remember.
Yeah. Please do, Keith, and let me know, because I'm curious to know Pekka origin story. I think I've gotten the story when him leave, because the current teacher at Meadowbrook, Miss Johnson, did give us that, and I was appreciative. I said when Pekka leave, so I have that on record the year when Pekka leave, and it sounded like he got a good severance package. So
He got an award. He got an award or something. Too.
Yeah.
In fact, I saw Miss Johnson at the match as well. So there are staff members there.
Oh yeah, man.
But let me ask another question on the same topic, etc. Really, yeah. What Pekka name?
That one I cannot.
I mean, I've heard him referred to as Mr. Pekka.
No, that's what.
And variations thereof. But
Kid,
You have to ask Mr. Talk because he knew about Barnes.
that one. You know what? Man live up on Manning Road, a Pekka there. And maybe Samuel's there, maybe they're good set of people. But man can't tell you what Pekka real name. But that's another question, Keith. When you get the answer for that, let me know, because I am curious to know what is Pekka real name. That I want to know too. That.
and
You know what?
there's a spot right up by the intersection of Manningsville Road and
Evandale
Border
Drive.
Avenue.
Yeah.
Where Pekka used to park when he left Meadowbrook.
After school, I remember the spot, right?
Yeah,
right up by the Kentucky was up on the corner. That's yeah.
Right, right up there.
Yeah.
You're right. He's from up that way.
Yeah,
But,
man. Yeah.
But I doubt very much that his birth certificate says Pekka.
Pekka, just like that, Pekka came to Meadowbrook as a good footballer, Johnny Pekka.
Johnny Pekka,
But we know him right name was Albert Ashley, but we don't know.
Right, yeah.
As a matter of fact, when Pekka came to school, I thought he was related to that Pekka. I mean, I said Pekka's son, yeah.
No, but we have heard about that Pekka who played football was Johnny Pekka, not just any Pekka.
Remember now, he assumes a Pekka last name that's in a Jerry, so, but it's like when me as Albert Ashley, I say, I'm related to Pekka, okay.
No, Pekka.
Anyway, gentlemen, this was.
So how they give him an award? Him never have a name.
Well, you know what? Hold on. No, let's just say that Miss Johnson might know him right name, you know. No, that to say that. You know.
Because they gave him some kind of award. Didn't she say that?
Yes, so yeah, say I want name them right on the award certificate. No, that
Well,
is
pick
say.
up.
With Miss Johnson, then that might be the answer.
I will have to call. I can't go and call her, you know, because I go and follow up with her because I need her to help me with the conversation I have next week with the one of the founders of the school. So yeah, I'm going to call her. I'm going to call her and find out. I'm going to call her to set that up. I forgot to ask her that. What is Specker real name?
Yeah.
And that one to keep us a mystery. Like to have a competition who can guess Specker real name for some fundraiser for the school.
True. Agreed. Yeah.
If you want a real fundraiser, you should try to get the recipe for them fritters.
Yeah. That too there, that can't go in the mixer. Yes, the recipe for them fritters and the salad fish Pekka used to make. Yes.
Fritters, they could have solved the oil crisis.
Yeah. Anyway, gentlemen, this was a blast, you know. But before we go, as my friend from Permagal said to me, Richard Roots later, and he said, "There's no last word." He must say, "What's the closing remark?" Any closing remark, Jerry?
No, good to hear you, Keith. Nice conversation and reminiscing a little bit was good.
And Keith, any closing remark? Or Nuts, any closing remark?
Yeah, man, it was fun. And the only closing remark I would have for those people who are out there in the Meadowbrook diaspora, if there's such a thing, you know, they can, you know, in whatever way you can, give some help to the school, you know. Do what you can do to help the school. Don't have to be a lot, you know. If you can find a $5 a month, whatever it is, because there are many more of us now than there used to be. When I left Meadowbrook was a very young school, but now, you know, the Past Students Association is big. So if a lot of us give a little bit, yeah, man, then we'll move mountains.
Yeah, gentlemen, thank you for this. I mean, Jerry.
Yes, sir.
Gerald Belnavis, G,
Yes,
as
sir.
I affectionately call him, or Major Keith White, or Nuts, and him clear that up. It's a PG name. This was great. Going on memory lane. A little bit of history I knew. A lot of it I didn't know because I go to school and money a big man for me, and this was a pleasure. I enjoyed this immensely, and thank you both. And God bless you, and God bless Meadowbrook going forward.
All right,
So,
sir.
yeah, man.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, man, that was good.
Yeah, thank you. All right, appreciate
All right.
it. Yeah, man.
Jillian, thank you for
Bye-bye.
doing this too.
Yeah, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
man. Yeah, man, it's a good thing.
Thank you,
Okay.
Keith. Thank you, Derek.
Bye.
Thanks. Thanks for listening to Meadowbrook Memories. And remember to give us all the support and encouragement you can on whatever social media platform you are listening. And special thanks to my production manager, Kyle Prince, who takes care of everything involving getting the podcast out every week. And without him, this podcast would not be possible. It is his expertise that allows me to do what I love doing every week, having great conversations about Meadowbrook Memories, and he's responsible for everything else. So again, thanks to my production manager, Kyle Prince.